Hey guys, it's David Spade here. Applause, applause, standing ovation. It's everyone has been asking me where I go on tour. Literally every single person in the world. So I'm playing the Venetian in Las Vegas with Nikki Glazer coming up in April, and then we do it 3 more times. Check davidspade.com. That's not a plug. It sounds like one. It's not. Anyway, have fun. Here we go. Bye, wazoo. I like when Kevin Nealon goes, my dentist said to me, all right, open your mouth and you might feel a little prick in there. He goes, I better not.
I used to do it. A dentist having sex. You might feel a little prick.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You guys should get together.
No. Kevin's is better.
Fred Wolf says, I went to the dentist. You could tell he sucks. He goes, now I'm going to have to take out 2 teeth. So what we're going to do is make an incision down your cheek. We're going to pry it open about 2 inches, get in there and pull those teeth out. He goes, can I just open my mouth? He goes, well, I know the first way works. Cecily Strong is our guest today. See, these are bits. Dana got his teeth cleaned.
So what did you, I was watching Warriors basketball.
I saw the country
the
MAs.
CMT?
CMA. They're close.
Oh, what's the CMT?
I think that's a channel.
Oh.
But I think they won an award too.
Okay. So you watched the CMAs.
So I watched the CMAs.
Okay.
And because I'm a little Joe Dirt, shit kicker, goat roper. But they were just on. And, my legs are always compared to Carrie Underwood. So my friend said, her legs look good, but I know you both shave your legs. I think that's how it started. Anyway, so I watched, but here's my observation, 2 cents. They had on, here's what I saw, Megan Thee Stallion, Alanis Morissette saying You Ought to Know, and Gwen Stefani saying I'm Just a Girl, with some other country people. But I know they want to be inclusive, but honestly, just be the music awards, because you're having people from rock and roll. You know how these shows, like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame isn't rock and roll anymore? It's okay to do that, but you don't need to label it then. Just say it's the awards, or it's the music awards. And just say, if you're in music, we can all be up for an award, and just pick the best out of music. Does that make any sense?
Real country music to me, it was on the AM radio driving to Montana, and it was like, you're cheating hard, that was it. And now it's like, you're cheating hard. It's almost
now it's, give me the beat. Yeah, I'm surprised Diplo wasn't there. It's just, so that's a really smart observation. I say smart things all the time, and no one has a pen ever.
You're cheating hard.
Oh, the Mark Twain Awards reran. Mark Twain Awards is what Dana was at.
And
I
David.
was at, and we did that in celebration of most celebrated man in comedy. Celebration.
I went on an hour 4. It was great.
Is that when you went on?
I don't know. 3. I was sitting next to Chris Rock and Pete Davidson, and every time a comedian would come up and kill, Chris Rock would go, I'm down to 2 minutes.
Yeah, because, you don't want to go late in the show because people step on your premises. Here's most of my premises. Yeah-da-ga-goo.
I did it too. Fa-ba-thoo. We all did it. I was the 11th comedian.
I was talking to the guy backstage, Stilson, the writer, and I said, I say Zababu or something in this headline. I go, does anyone else do it? He goes, just Conan and Stiller and Dana. And I go, well, that's most of the panel. Whatever. But we went out there and we really, I don't know what we did, but it was fun, right?
It was fun hanging out with everybody, seeing everybody. Marcy
they
Klein,
cut 90 minutes
Tim
of
Meadows.
It. You know that?
No.
They cut 90 minutes of the show, and it was only 90 minutes. So everybody went long. I'm the only one that went within my time. Can you believe it? And they cut 4 jokes.
Didn't I go short? Or they cut me down, yeah.
They cut 4. I did under 5 anyway. Motherfuckers. Anyway, so that's cool. I don't care, motherfuckers.
Don't you?
I do.
I think someone needs talk space.
Here's my joke.
Okay.
Oh, you want me to tell you?
You have a new joke?
No, this is the one I didn't.
Okay,
This one that got shit canned. I've done a lot of movies with Adam. Instead of listing them, just go to your unmarried uncle's apartment and look at his posters. That's harmless.
Which ones? Can we knock them off here?
No, that was the one, and the other one was in this woke PC world of comedy, please. I can assure you the only person that would not win the Mark Twain Award is Mark Twain. I said he had some iffy material. And then fucking rat fucked me on that one. What about you?
Well, there's been a controversy.
You did a good Trump one.
I did Trump and being, arrested, and they cut it.
And what did you say? I like this.
I just said it was just an angle. Go ahead, arrest me, but you don't have to read me the rights because I wrote the rights. I can write a lot of things. I wrote the rights. With a lovely lady named Miranda. We got together. I said the right to remain silent. She puts it down. We did it for hours. I know how to write things. Everything you can use can be with you and against you. And I put it down. And you can say them to me, but I wrote them. I know them already. You're wasting my
Miranda's
time.
a very good friend.
She's a good friend. She's a lovely lady. What a beauty.
What a beauty. That's funny.
The Miranda rights. There's a controversy involving me going around.
Oh, that's right. I read this on Twitter.
There's the real story, and it's kind of a sensitive topic. But after 9/11, I was shooting a movie called Master of Disguise. After 9/11, we took an appropriate time off and went back to shooting. And I was playing, if you've seen the movie, kids, the Turtle Man with a bald cap and a weird thing on my lip and a big green shell outfit on.
Well, let me tell you, Dana, the rumor was, because I saw it on Twitter and I sent it to you.
I want to hear the
Just
rumor.
to clarify what they thought it was. They said, rumor has it when 9/11 happened, you were shooting actively in the morning and you heard about it in your turtle outfit, which isn't even a real story, but they thought it was funny you had the thing on, and that's when you heard about the historically
What happened was
terrible
they
situation.
obfuscated it because I was in it all that day, and then they said we're going to have a group prayer about 9/11,
Right.
and I couldn't get the thing. I would have held everyone up for a half hour getting all that prosthetic makeup on. So as I remember it, there was all of us, everyone else, civilian clothes. I'm dressed as the Turtle Man with the bald head, and I'm holding hands, and I'm lowering my head and praying. I just thought at the moment, this is really strange.
It's very ridiculous. And also that even someone would repeat that dumb story that anyway, did you have your shell on or off?
If they might have gotten, they might have gotten the shell off, but they didn't get the turtle head or the turtle lip off.
No, that's too
So
much
just
work.
couldn't have gotten it all off. But if it's outrageous,
It's contagious.
Yeah.
Now listen, if the shell should be you should be walking to the set and you go shell, and then someone comes on like Velcros it on. But if you have to on your back and people, you don't want that.
Yeah, the Turtle Man falls on his back. I can't even get up. I'm helpless.
Okay, Cecily Strong is one of the stalwarts.
She's a stalwart.
She's a great, solid 10-year hitter that's been on SNL for 10 years.
Came to
Just left.
SNL with Kate McGinnon and Adie Bryant.
Yeah.
And did her 10
Talked
years.
about her little squad.
Mhm.
She talked about a little bit when Trump hosted. She talked about she does do a Lauren impression. Actually, I really liked hers.
She did a unique take on Lauren, and that'll be fun for you to hear. And she was extra adorable as a person. And we were able to put her in context. And, she had some heavy hitters around her, but when you go over her history on SNL and her incredible sketches, we break down. I mean, she'll do a character that's missing a tooth, but she's not missing a tooth. And I asked her the process of how you talk like someone who sounds like they're missing a tooth and have it sound real.
And British accents she went over.
Incredible.
She's also in these Verizon commercials, and I've seen so many. I think I was saying, I think there's a movie there. But we decided there wasn't.
And she's on Schmigadoon.
Schmigadoon.
So I wrote just a little,
Okay.
just before we throw to her, just a little ode.
Just a little. Let's give us a taste. He's got his guitar. It's a rockin' tune already.
She's strong. Cecily Strong. She's strong.
Okay.
Cecily Strong. She's strong.
Dude, no wonder
I want a song.
No wonder you went away this weekend and wrote that. Oh my God. Go. Hey, everybody.
Okay.
Whoa. It's happening. Everybody get off. Everyone off. She's here.
The thing about Cecily is she's always prompt. You'll find that she'll be on the Zoom a little bit earlier than when it was scheduled, like 35 to 45. Oh, sorry. Hi, I love your sweater.
Yeah.
Well, thanks. We're doing a similar themed
Well,
look.
this is kind of colorful. It's the perfect puffer. That's David's. David has a perfect puffer. I'm in Northern California. It's freezing and there's a hypersonic river. There's never a rainstorm. It's always a cyclone bomb. So, but it's kind of nice outside.
Is that still going? Is that still happening?
Oh yeah. We haven't quit. Northern California never lays down with this. They never quit.
That's true, I suppose.
I'm not apologizing for my hair, but I'm just going to say we're just going to deal with it on this.
It looks like a fashion choice. It's kind of hip.
That's what it used to look like.
I'm going to say 2 words right now about David's hair. Bad boy. Cecily,
Yes,
back me up.
absolutely.
Bad boy, right? Unkept, ready to
Bad
fight.
boy hair.
Yeah.
And bad boys never go out of style.
Right. Bad boy lost his comb.
Bad boys never go out of style. So they're in style and they're going to stay in style.
By the way,
think
just
forever,
so you know,
yeah.
Dana was saying it rains, and you're not in LA, I don't think, but it's raining always now. It's a new thing.
Yeah.
And you think with the taxes and everything, the only thing we get is good weather. Now we don't have that. So when it rains, the weatherman goes like this: "It's gonna pour for 7 days straight," and there's such a big drought here. Everyone goes, "Oh, good," and he goes, "But it's not gonna help the drought." Did you think that? And I go,
Oh,
I did think that. And I go, no. See, it's funny you would think that, but the drought is getting worse. And I'm like, I don't think I know what a drought is then, because why is all the rain not helping? And they're like, it's nothing.
It's got to go underground, man. It's all about recharging it underground.
Right. But it was like, well, it's good to fill the ones overground too, I think. I don't know.
I don't know what's getting filled.
Celebrate the little wins, right?
I thought it was a little
Yes,
win.
it was a little win. Shasta is a mofo. That thing is so fucking huge. And it's going to get so full when the mountains start to melt that they're going to have to release water. Here's my point. If it rains outside, I don't really have a point. I took a 1-hour shower yesterday because it was raining outside. I go, how much could it hurt? Yeah.
I didn't know where you were going with that, but okay.
I'm so punchy and I have nothing, but at least I'll admit it ahead of time. Cecily, we're so glad you're on this show. Mm-hmm. We're so excited.
It's wonderful to be here. I just adore you both. I hope you know that. I think I told you both at the 50th, but I don't, or the 40th, I mean, geez. But I don't know if you remember.
50th is next.
The 40th, Cecily. It is Cecily, right? You say Cecily?
Yes, Cecily, yes.
I don't say it wrong. Okay.
People do say it wrong. You've been saying it right. I appreciate that.
I'm Dana and he's David.
Yeah.
No, it's Cecily is very hip. Cecily is like works at a mall or something.
Cecily, I don't know about. Yeah.
Yeah.
When we did the 40th, aside from the excitement of it all and seeing everywhere you turn, someone was fun to see and old, new cast, whatever. She was assigned the thankless job of doing my bye-bye with me, which, the show was so thrown together.
It was not thankless. That was very exciting. I mean, can you imagine
was fun, though, right?
you were... Yes.
It didn't kill and get off the charts and win awards.
Well,
yeah, just for a second for our audience, David used to do his first character that landed an absolute catchphrase, flight attendant, as you get off the plane, saying,
bye-bye.
Right. So then on the 40th, you two are in the sketch. Fill us in. What happened? How'd you get together? Where were you in the show? Hour 3 or hour 6?
We ended the Californians.
Yes. And
I actually have the picture of you and I standing there, I think with Bradley Cooper, but I have the little framed picture on my wall. Yeah, I love it.
You know what was fun about that was I talked to Shroom Taker, Michael Shoemaker, and he
Shroom Taker. What's the Shroom Taker with Michael?
His name sounds like Shroom Taker.
Oh, I thought it's like he deals in psilocybin. I'll just have a small amount, Marcy. Sorry. Anyway. So anyway, you guys did the sketch show, the Californians, and then at the end, you two were placed on the soundstage, kind of at the edge of their set, and did a goodbye, bye bye.
Yeah, right? It was funny because I asked Shoemaker, I said, "What if, because this show is obviously so thrown together, no one cares. What if when someone's leaving a sketch, they just walk by and we go bye bye?" And he goes, "Yeah, we could probably do that." So he talked to Higgins. And then they said, you would be good for that. And then We stood there, and I have a picture. I think it's probably from is it from rehearsal or is it from the real show? I have one, I think, from rehearsal.
I'm not sure.
And
hey, gang, let's put it on social media when
I have
Cecily's episode comes out.
Yes,
it doesn't matter. But
too.
it was fun because Taylor Swift was in it. So basically, Dana, it was very unorthodox. They do this sketch that's a big favorite sketch, and then when they're leaving, we just stand there for absolutely no reason and go bye-bye.
I remember it. I remember it now. Yeah, it's kind of meta or whatever that word means.
Yeah, it was fun. And Taylor Swift was in it. She was very tall.
She is very tall.
Was she swift in a way in her movements? Sorry, it's all I got.
Now, why do you ask that?
Well, I don't know. Maybe some subconscious connection. So anyway, Cecily, we've been watching all your cool stuff. Getting I didn't even know where to start. We can go chronologically, but one thing that I did absolutely love as someone who loves accents is the way your British indiscernible character
Gemma.
with the super Cockney, like that is just music to me. I love
music to me ears.
I'm Gemma.
Would you give us just you don't have to do it. I mean, just talk through it in that, or just give us 3 seconds.
Well, I think you also have to make it feel like you have big teeth too. I think because I was watching a lot of a British reality show, but everybody gets their teeth done. So is
it Gemma Collins?
There is a Gemma Collins who is on the show that I was watching a lot of.
A slight overbite. Yeah.
Yeah. Sort of like if you're talking around your teeth like that, sort of like that. So you have,
wait, I want to hear it.
It's just like you're talking around your teeth. There's a show called The Only Way is Essex, and it's sort of like that. And they do a lot of like American vocal fry almost.
Oh,
it's
so refined. I love that. I love that.
I love accents too. It's fun for me. It's just what it sounds like to my ear. I feel like there's always a million comments. They're like, "That's not how that sounds." Which are the most fun people to be watching.
Yeah, the ones who are upset we don't sound like that. But you're teasing it out and making it a character. I mean, you're doing something lispy or something with your teeth.
Yes,
it's very gives you a little.
The S. It's almost like a little lisp because of the teeth. I think.
Is that a little? Who's the great actress? Olivia Colman, or she did The Queen. Is that the name of that actress?
I assume so. Yes.
Let's say that's her name. She's on The Crown.
Close enough.
She has a little overbite. Anyway, I love that. So that's where we wanted to start.
Well, I appreciate
just fanning out.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm a fan. And Dana, just so you know, I just want to say, I also have a picture of you from the 40th. It was a huge deal. I think I was in my second year on the show or something. So it was
2014.
Yeah, it was very cool. I have a picture of you and Mike Myers and your Wayne's World get-ups. And I got to stand in between you two, and that was very exciting.
Yeah.
Wow. That night, when you're just say it's Billy Crystal, there's Steve Martin. Oh, Bill Murray. It was in the audience. Oh, there's Eddie Murphy, Tom Hanks. There's Donald Trump. I mean, it's just like
it's Keith Richards.
Everybody was famous that you looked at. So it was nerve-wracking in that way. That 40th, that darn 40th.
Did you get a +1?
I did actually to the party. I did.
What
was that? I don't know. Is that not?
No, I'm calling Lauren on the other phone.
Somewhere in the overflow room, the most, the toughest one, cast members. Some were put in the overflow room.
Rough.
Next year we'll have a net up top. There'll be no overthrow. There'll just be people in sort of like a loose circus net. They'll bounce around. It'd be like that thing of like they'll see the show. So I had
to go in there and get Rob Schneider.
I love the Lauren. Yeah.
You must do your own version of Lauren.
But I can't do it in front of like the best Lauren impersonator.
Everyone has different ones, who was
everybody's
Andy
done it.
Samberg he does the quiet one. Bill Hader just, it'd be really nice if like it was a good show. There's the quiet Lauren and right. I don't know. Everyone has their.
I like to imagine that I like to do Lauren when he's like laughing so hard at a sketch or something, imagining that he really loves her. Oh my fucking God. Oh, fuck. No, they didn't. Fuck, shit. That is my shit. Him really going on.
Well, that's to that point. Lauren has he'll be very casual. If something hits him, and we've never talked about this, he goes into almost a convulsion or spasm. He has a laugh from 0 to 10, puts his head down. We've never talked about that. That is a really, really
good observation, because he does that at read through. If you can make him laugh and slap the desk or something, you're like, holy shit.
Oh yeah. And just to be clear, he doesn't say those things. That's what I know. I like to put that on him. Yes. But I have seen him a couple times in 11 years laugh very hard.
Yeah.
How is he? We were talking with other cast members the other day, and Lauren's Keenan. I don't know how these go in order or whatever. This comes out in 2026. Anyway, but Lauren's kind of amazingly, I'll say, sort of brilliant, passive aggressive, intentionally sarcasm to get you to relax. I'll get you started. Like, it'd be really nice if this sketch would really be funny. That'd be a good thing.
Right.
Those kind of statements, which Keenan said relaxed him,
Huh.
It either can relax or put pressure. I think initially it put pressure on me when I first got there.
Yeah.
I was just so fucking scared. But eventually I got used to his sense of humor, the dryness of just...
Dana, sometimes I remember I was behind one of the, where the sketches are. So if you walk in, for people at home, and then behind the sketch is like nothing. And so I'm just waiting to go in with some goofy outfit on. And Lauren comes around the corner they're like 20 seconds. And then I'm getting nervous looking at my sides. And then Lauren walks with an Amstel light casually. And he goes, "You want to try tonight?" I'm like, what? And then he just drifts off. And I'm like, am I not trying ever? And then I botched the sketch because now it's in my head.
Yeah.
He has his style.
I think it's kind of Lauren being sassy, I think.
Yeah, he's very sassy.
Okay, Lauren. He's got his little dig
We
in.
had a sketch called Sassy. Remember, Dana, with Phil Hartman, who Cecily likes.
Right. You've read it.
Let's go back a little bit to your how Cecily Strong became Cecily Strong. We don't have to spend much time on it, but I thought it was very, very interesting. And you, amongst other people, have mentioned, or at least if this is accurate, Phil Hartman as kind of a true North Star. Will Ferrell did as well. And we all love Phil. And he was brilliant. So,
yes. Well, I also think, listen, I have so many, like, I feel like I've spent a lot of time with you both on the show, like watching and really enjoy. There's so many people I love. And usually it's just when you say one thing in an interview, then it kind of sticks forever. But true. I mean, I was just a huge fan of the show in general. And I do think, I've played a lot of straight characters on the role. And I think he just is kind of like the such a great straight man.
Yeah, he'll take the lead if you need it, or he'll completely play the bass, so to speak, hold it down. You actually reenacted? I mean, did you you had an uncle who was a Broadway producer?
Yes.
Your mom and dad were kind of at a very young age, kind of saying, "Cecily, maybe this is for you," or do I get that right? Like, when did that dream occur to you?
I think I never, for real, had the dream. Even at the audition, was like, well, I don't want to say it out loud, even because this just doesn't happen, and I don't want to be disappointed if I got to audition. That I should be so happy that I got to audition. I got to be here. But I think I was when I was 3, I would just perform a lot around the house. And my parents were like, I don't know. And they put me in a drama class. Like, I hope that's it. I hope that scratches that itch. And it's not something worse.
Well, kids like it, and then you keep with it. I think every kid is we got into comedy in our house, and everyone just liked comedy. But I agree with you that when you say you're auditioning for something, or when I start doing stand-up, you don't want people to go, how'd it go? And if you don't get it, you're like, ugh. And then they go, oh.
Right. Then it's like a bummer thing when you're like, well, I wanted to be happy about that.
That was the idea initially.
Well, the pressure keeps building because it's going toward 50 years. It was enough for me to even imagine I could be on it, but there was only 10 years before me. Now a cast member goes, okay, check out the history of the show before you audition. It's like months of pouring through so many sketches, but I could not believe that's a very common theme for people, of being very humble about auditioning. Like, my God, this is a dream. And just some of the darkness of the people who it went asymmetrical and they didn't get it, and it's something, and then they've gone on and done great.
Right.
It's not the one lane to go, but for you, it was kind of.
It definitely, and certainly like at the time. I mean, and I'd done theater for a long time before comedy. And I really only got into comedy after college. Not that I guess like officially study comedy. I don't know.
I know, it's so weird.
Didn't count before, I guess,
So you were in theater all the time. Then you got busted for pot and got arrested. Okay. So
you went to jail, you're a pot dealer, it says here.
I went to jail.
Some of these are wrong.
A little bit of a rebel in those days, I guess, or was everyone
I think
smoking?
kind of maybe that was just the thing in the year 2000. I don't know. But I was like I wasn't really a bad kid. I got good grades. I liked school, but then I also like smoked cigarettes and
whoa.
I was like in with the theater crowd. That's not like the cool kids at school.
No, not at all. You do smoke a good cigarette, just but you don't light it, right? With
with Kathy Ann? Yes, Kathy I was a smoker for a long time, and that's always a thing I look at when I watch people smoke on camera. So you can tell. I've always feel like the people who have never smoked always go like,
that's what
like their whole hand,
right. and then breathe.
I put all the cigarette and my fingers in my mouth like this.
Yeah,
I go, is this
that's
wrong?
a very straight hand.
So Kathy Ann is like a redneck, quasi-alcoholic or whatever.
She's just kind of lived hard.
I've seen them in Montana, where I'm from originally, and I go there a lot. I've seen those people, and she's that looked like a fun character to play.
It's so much fun, and I do think it's like so many of the people that I just love in real life and love to watch. And actually, I worked at Greenblatt's for
right
for
next
a while.
To the Laugh Factory.
Right next to the Laugh Factory.
Yeah.
And this is when I was smoking, and I'd go outside for a cigarette every now and then. And there was like a local lady in the neighborhood who would yell on the street a lot. And so she sort of was where it came from. And she said, and it'd always be like, oh, don't make eye contact because she'll come over here. And it said like, they tried to give my brother DUI. And I said, it's probably your own breath blowing back in your face. And she was just that kind of energy attitude.
Wow.
But it's together,
we've met
don't
a lot
make
of those
eye contact.
characters in our neighborhood.
Right.
Met that person. And that's such a specific rhythm.
Yes. Yeah. And I think they are everywhere. I don't think it's like, she's got a bit of an accent, I guess, but I don't think it's like definitely a Southern thing. It's like
right?
in Michigan, it's in a bar everywhere, every state.
It's a bit of a tweaker twist to it. Like you don't know really what you're getting to, and it's a little crazy in the eye.
Yes. And again, I like to think that there's some teeth interaction, like missing a tooth or there's a rotten tooth.
Okay, how would that affect the way the voice
tooth
comes
interaction?
Out?
Well,
that's how you do impression.
Yeah, that's kind of like Rod. She also got like a mild speech impediment too.
Because there's enough missing tooth and the tongue kind of wanders in there.
Yeah.
And there's a sore back there.
There's stuff
cool.
in the mouth.
Bitter cheek.
For our theater students that listen to this podcast,
they're freaking right now.
Well, just the idea of pretending, okay, his character is missing a tooth.
Yeah.
I have, Cecily has beautiful teeth. I'm going to somehow make that part of the voice that the tooth is missing. Okay, that was for the theater fans. Go ahead.
Well, Dana,
can we get one last taste of it so people can listen to that?
Yeah. Well, if you try to talk like you have no teeth, you know how that sometimes. I think it's sort of starting from there.
Starting from there. Okay.
When we did bye-bye, she said, approximately how many teeth does this have?
And how big are they? Does she whiten them?
Roughly how big, centimeter-wise? Just will help me a little bit.
So we're bouncing around. I love.
But we're keeping with teeth. That's good.
Well, I love that you're willing to kind of explain the character rhythmically and the voice thing. It's really interesting to me.
Well, in that Gemma, Dana, who Benedict Cumberbatch was American, right?
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Slumber
he did
party.
It's like a Cumberbatch slumber party. He should host that.
Did you say to him,
adults.
Is it more fun for him to play American accent than you're taking the Gemma?
I think that was, I hope that was fun for him. It sounded like it was at the time. He might have been just doing whatever that week, but I imagine it would be.
Yeah, it's probably more fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he was cool, right? Fun to work with.
So much fun.
I did a guest spot there and just met him. He seemed very earnest and humble and ready to work and hoping he's doing a good job.
I feel like, I don't know if you got this vibe at all when you guys were on the show, but sorry, my dog. Hey,
come on.
She's making things up. She's very dramatic. I'm sorry. The focus wasn't on her.
She's
was
making
like,
things up.
That's saying, what is this person doing?
She's had
talking
it with you
into
on the Zoom. She's like, that's enough.
talking to herself.
I'm sitting over here. No one's paying attention. But I was going to say, I feel like a lot of the English hosts or British hosts were sort of so game to kind of nerd out with us. And not that American hosts aren't, but I just felt like across the board, kind of every British host we had almost had like a giggly, like little kid, just really would be willing to do anything.
Yeah.
Yes, I find the same thing. There's something about their training, their attitude. Yeah. There's something very potent. And
kind of like silly, goofy too, which I thought was a fun thing about Benedict. Yeah. Because while I guess he does, it is kind of a silly name, but it's also a very buttoned up name, I would think.
Sure. When you meet the host in the Monday meeting, I think that's where you get a vibe. I mean, they are nervous for sure. And you're nervous. I'm nervous because I'm starstruck most of the time. You're a writer, you're new on the show, whatever. You're always starstruck, and they bring in some big names. So I think you get a vibe in a first meeting what they're going to be like. Are they going to be fun? Some people you pitch them something, they go, sounds great, anything. And then they're up for anything, and you go, this is going to be fun. And some go, oh, I don't know. They're just you can tell they're tight, and they're like, can you do Russian accent? Oh, I don't really do accents really. And then you're like, okay. And then everyone pitches, and when you walk out of there, you go, I got a feel for it.
Yeah, I feel like I'm not as good at that. I felt like I didn't quite get to know every host until after a table read, because sometimes you just guess so wrong.
Yeah, that's true. They can really come alive.
Oh no, yeah, or like you've just given them something that's so the wrong thing for them.
Were you there? Were you there when Trump was on? Because I just heard a story that Pete Davidson told, and he said, They said, Dana, did you hear this? He goes, first of all, that Trump came to read through this. You can corroborate. I may have been getting it wrong.
I know that. Yeah.
And he said, like, I don't really read. I don't really I sort of ad lib instead of read sketches. That was part of it. And then he said,
ad lib like nobody's business.
And he said, I don't have my glasses. And then Lauren said, you can use mine. And he's like, And then there was an end of a sketch, maybe at Disneyland, where he says, see you later. And then he looks at everyone else and goes, chicken leg? No, turkey legs? Like, let's go eat turkey legs.
Let me tell you, because it's one of my favorites.
Oh, let's hear it.
But there's a couple things that happened. He didn't bring his reading glasses to the table read and was like, oh, I didn't know that we were going to be reading or something like that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, well, it's the table read.
With scripts.
45 scripts.
Yeah.
And so Ivanka was there, and there was a sketch that Ivanka was in that was set at like medieval times. And at the end of it, he goes, told ya. Grammatically was written told ya, like told you so to her. He's talking to her, period. And then it says turkey leg. Like, would you like to go get a turkey leg? Mm-hmm. That's how one would read that sentence. But Donald Trump read it as told you turkey legs to Ivanka. like he was calling her turkey legs. And then he looked at us funny. Okay, weirdos. And it was like, we're not you read it wrong. And then he also, in the middle of it, got a phone call and took his call. So we all just waited. And I've never seen anyone that to Lauren yet, And he went, oh, that's great. My book just went to #1. And we all just went, wow,
Applause.
wow.
Applause,
had to applaud just the moment, just the fact that you would interrupt the table read to take your very real call.
My book just went to #1, and I know you got to do some things, but I think I deserve a little bit of applause.
And then he asked to be put into the Drake, the Hotline Bling sketch, the dad. I think it was like the dad dance or something. That
I remember his funny little weird dance.
He asked to be put in that.
Yeah.
And then the other thing he did was they did a Giving Tree sketch. And Jenna always tells the story, our stage manager, because he's like, that's not a real book. And she kept saying, what do you mean? That's a book. And he just did not believe that the Giving Tree, as he was in a full tree costume. And I do have a picture from my monitor in my dressing room from rehearsal of just his face in this tree costume.
The Giving Tree. It's just a rumor.
Did not believe, obviously was not brought up on the Giving Tree.
I know books. I read a lot of books. I can see books. I've heard about books, so I know when there's a book and it's not a book. Excuse me.
I know a lot of books.
Excuse me. Let me finish. I know about books. Let me tell you. No one like him. Everything's been said about him, but he's a one-off.
Those table reads are cool. I mean, you can learn a lot. I remember the first Alec Baldwin. He was great. Like, I didn't know what, you don't know what you're getting into. And sketch after sketch, you start to go, oh my God, these are pretty much cold reads. Like they've never seen the sketch and they're walking in, someone's going, hey, mine's sketch is number 41. And if you could play it like quiet at the beginning, but then you build and they're like, right. And they're trying to absorb it all. You don't know what the fuck's going on.
Right.
And
5 hours.
John Goodman always
learning
great.
8 songs.
Oh yeah. They're having to sing a song. Right. The hosting is so complicated.
Yes. And I think they're mainly just kind of in shock. I thought of my role as kind of an RA throughout the week. Where you're just sort of always being encouraging, like, how do you feel? Great. Yeah. That's normal, I think. That's normal. And by Saturday, you're going to be,
It's very funny because they're walking into your turf and they can be kind of nervous. And I with a superstar, like a big movie star, and you can tell they're out of their element and you're kind of going, you're doing great. And, just read it off the card. Just read it straight off the card.
Right. That's it. I'm like putting it in my head that they need encouragement from me. I'm probably like wearing a blanket and slippers. My life isn't, I don't have it all together. And I'm like, you're doing great.
I was doing a guest spot. I think Church Lady at Update, because I'd done Fallon, and then Lauren would always say, you'll be doing Church Lady on a Saturday. Oh, okay, I'll call my travel agent. And then it was Benedict Cumberbatch. I remember afterwards, just at the good nights, he goes, it was pretty good, okay, right? It was okay. I go, no, it was great. Yeah. Great. But funny, me telling you, I can't,
I wonder if anyone's ever gone, nah, it was pretty good. You could have done better.
I wouldn't. I
mean, to any host, would you ever, even if they're bombing, you're going, you're doing great. You got to keep them upbeat,
Right.
Just never go real on them.
No.
So can we circle back around how your audition? I just want to know so you just to jump around a little bit. You went to Cal Arts for theater. So you're studying, you're getting better, you're starting to get funny, and then you go to Chicago.
I went, yes. So I stayed in LA for like 9 months, 7 to 9 months or something. And I was just kind of like, I don't think this is going to be the way I do this business if I'm going to do it. It was just sort of, I didn't really understand how any of it worked, and business wise, like I couldn't get an it was just like, it felt bad, as this business can feel sometimes. And so I took a class at the Groundlings though, and I really liked it. And so I was like, well, I'll move back to Chicago and rent will be a lot cheaper. And every now and then my mom can buy me groceries. And I went to Second City. I started taking classes at
Second City.
Yeah.
And what was the vibe difference when you got to Chicago? LA, it just feels more pressure and just weirder, right?
Yeah. And
Chicago is still a Midwestern city.
Yeah, my family was in Chicago. And I do. I enjoy the Midwest. A lot more, it's a lot chunkier people who are more friendlier in public. I don't know.
Chunky and friendly.
You have a slight accent too, right?
We have a slight accent. Like to eat, to laugh and drink. You have to, because it's so cold. You have to find ways to enjoy life while you can. And
in LA, it's just
And actually, I loved my class at the Groundlings. I really had a good group. But I definitely, I was like, there's so much more of that kind of, especially that comedy, sketch, and improv. This is just like, that's so much of what Chicago is.
Yeah.
And I took classes at IO eventually, I did some shows at The Annoyance, and, then we would do a couple of those shows
Improv
where
Olympic.
you rent out the theater and beg your friends to come for $5 tickets. You may have 5 audience members that night.
Bring your show.
And when did you met people either been at Second City, got on SNL, or coming back to say hello, or then it became sort of in your purview, as they say, SNL is a possibility.
It was not. It was like a possibility, but again, like I wouldn't be so foolish as to say that out loud. It's just such an outlandish, like that's not going to happen to me. And I knew that they did auditions, but even you had to audition for the audition. And I was like in the box office at I.O. one night when Sharna was like, you should do this. And I thought, well, I don't know if I'm ready. And I heard like if you audition for Lorne once and he doesn't, and you don't get in, he never wants to see you again or something.
Never again.
There's all
I've heard that.
the things that people pass around, and like you can't get pregnant in a hot tub. You can only audition once. SNL, just the info kids pass on.
You can't get pregnant in audition.
Yeah.
Urban myths or whatever. Yeah.
And so, but then I took a workshop. That was, what was it? Characters and impressions or something. Because I didn't do a lot of impressions, and I never really thought of myself as an impression person. But I think I put together six things, But I kept them all short, and I think that's what helped me in the end was because you would see some people, hook. Yes, and you're like, some people, this is very indulgent, and and everybody's doing similar. There's the old, I forget his name because I'm Sam Elliott. Who was it? The old guy with the mustache that everybody did.
Sam Elliott.
Sam Elliott. Yeah. It's like, well, 8 of you are going to do Sam Elliott. So you don't need to do like a 3-minute monologue.
I like when they say like, I think this is a good trick. Like Dana, I've learned a lot about impressions from Dana, and people don't realize the longer you do it, the harder it is because you have a few hooks.
Yes.
And they go, oh, that sounds like them. But the longer you go, it doesn't. And when sometimes you ask people to ad lib as a character, they go, no, I know that's so much harder because you want to write something that includes the hooks.
Right. And where you say, and yes, like your thing in and I know I sound like them here, but I can't say the word chalk. That's that word.
Exactly.
So Cecily, so you're going to audition at I.O. or
at I.O.
And to your mind, there was maybe 10 of you or whatever. And so you were strategizing, knowing who was maybe going to come on before you. So you were not redundant. And then who was there? Was it lieutenants, Lorne's minions, basically?
I know.
Was Lorne there or them?
Lorne was there. I think Lindsay Shookus was there. Aaron Doyle, I think, was there. Colin was there.
Oh, really?
So Kenward.
The whole canon of people who can decide whether you're going to be on Saturday Night Live.
There was a big,
in the audience.
They were all there. Okay. But I mean, I didn't know who anyone was except Lorne, really.
I get nervous when you just said that. I was like getting nervous, going, "Oh my God!" Walking out, going, "Here we go. This is all that matters for everything. They'll never see you again." That's true. You think if they did not like you, then why would they see you right away again? It takes a long time.
What did you do? Did you have any methodology for dealing with that pressure, or when you got out there, you got a laugh and felt comfortable, or what happened?
Yeah, I think I got laughs. So really, I don't know what the strategy would even be for that. Sometimes you just have to go do it. It's like you don't have a choice.
You're just trying to control your nerves and actually have fun is the goal. And then how do you try not to try?
I probably looked like I was trying, but I think they forgive it. But I was also like, I'm comfortable around an audience at this point. My family was there. So I imagine if I hadn't gotten any laughs, it would have felt terrible. But luckily, that didn't happen.
It's also your home theater. It's not like at the daily, on 8H. 8H is barren and
it's
terrifying.
A super friendly audience, right? And everybody's laughing because, it's like in all of our best interests for anyone to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
So what was your first, ladies and gentlemen, Cecily Strong, do you remember your first bit or your first laugh or first character that you did or an impression, or what did you start with? Hello.
I think, we did this.
It's hard to start sometimes.
Yes, it was hard to start. I think the biggest was like we did Girl at a Party kind of 2 weeks in. It was during one of those election.
Oh, you came in with that one.
So
I didn't even. So
another thing that you do, these long names of characters. You're talking about girl you wish you hadn't started a conversation with at a party. It's
yes.
It's kind of the which is one of your first big hits on SNL.
Yes,
right?
the one that's everyone knows how to say the name. I was trying to write an update character with Colin Jost, and I did do. For my audition, I did a little boy that I overheard at Mother's Day restaurant in Forest Park, Illinois. But it was the intro was half of the.
Is that the name of it?
Yeah. It was like a chubby little boy that I overheard at
Forest Park.
That was awesome. See you next Saturday. Something like that.
Just that much is funny.
Yeah.
You would get it. You'd be like,
right. Anymore, it would be like,
you see the boy.
Yeah, you see that little boy. Loved his pancakes. So I was trying to write something with Colin, and I kept sort of being like, and that's a good one because it's important for society or something. And we were joking around like that. And I remember Jay Farrow was writing something, but you just heard him yelling the N-word in the hallway. And so I think I said, and can I say the N-word in mine? And so that was become Girl at a Party's bit too. She was always like a little, just assumes that she's got the right to do everything too. And I'd like heard a story from a male friend of mine who there was like a girl at a bar, and I'd heard a couple people in my life were telling me, they'd like seen a cute girl at a bar or something, and then she said something racist or offensive, just kind of out of nowhere. And it was like,
casually.
What? Where did that even come from? Yeah.
So wait a minute. So you actually used the real word in your audition?
Oh, no. I've never.
Oh, okay.
No.
Yeah. No, I didn't know. So this Jay Farrow was screaming.
He used the real word.
No.
I said, can I use the N word? Which I think he did. Yeah. I think we did put that in an early Girl at a Party.
Did Jay Farrow and you get the show on the same night, or
no? He was. I can't remember if he was a year. I think he was 2 years before me.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. So he was already in the cast when you auditioned.
Yes.
Okay, and he just happened to be screaming in the hallway. Yes. I thought it was from nerves that he screamed.
No. Yeah. Jay was. Okay. Yeah.
God,
Jay gives all of himself. Yes.
Yeah. Did you get the show from that audition?
We had like speed dating the next day. They asked 9 of us to go to the hotel where Lorne and his peeps were. And there were like 2 long tables. So I think I had an awkward conversation with everyone for 5 minutes. The only thing I remember saying was like, I love Trader Joe's, cucumbers and wine. Yeah. I don't know.
And they're all just staring. Was anyone laughing in a friendly way, or were they just looking at you?
I feel like they were encouraging, but that was...
I'm sure they know you're nervous.
Yes,
I'm sure they know everyone that walks in that door is like saying stupid shit.
Right.
It's impossible not to. So you do the audition, you do this little like meet up with them, and then what happens? You get a phone call?
Yeah, so then I got
6 months?
I got another phone call, I think, the next day or something, to fly out for a screen test, and it was an all girls screen test. And 80 was in the ETC show at Second City, and so she got flown out from that too. So 80 and I, what was nice was 80 and I really did every step together. So we went to that first screen test. Yeah, and I knew her. I was a fan of hers, honestly. In Chicago. And I think I understudied her at that point too, on her role on ETC. And so we did our first screen test in New York, and then went home and kind of didn't think about, then the day I flew back, and I got a call driving back from the airport to fly out to New York again, to just sort of sit in the office and talk to them.
It's Lorne, pick up.
Hey, Cecily, guess who?
Hit me on the hip.
Can you do the person who you don't want to see? They're trying to converse with you.
The lady that doesn't have an Uber app, but says she does.
We
or
like
something.
the little fat boy, but
there's always a but.
Can he be fatter?
Yeah.
So after the New York screen test, were you starting to think, maybe I'm going to get this? I mean, did you call your parents? Who do you call?
Yeah. I think I definitely called my parents. And probably only my parents would be the one, because it was like, I just don't want to say too much and jinx it or make people think that I think I'm going to get this. Yeah.
Right. But you did check in with them just because they knew you when you were 3 being funny.
Yes, so they'd known me for a while. So, right.
But you probably downplayed it. Like, I don't know if I'll get it, but I did this, and this.
And of course, they probably at that point assume you'll get it. I don't know. Maybe they did. I don't know.
It's pretty far down the road.
Yeah. It's such a, right. And especially to go from like, I'm understudying Second City and touring and like, it's just such a big jump from that to now I'm on TV. And even, like living in Chicago versus New York.
Well, just going in that building, the 30 Rock and seeing 8H for the first time is hallowed ground.
Right.
All of it would give you a slight stomach ache or something. Or
diarrhea-inducing
Yes,
building.
and you have to kind of wait forever. I don't even know how many people were in that screen test. You can just sort of hear people in the hallway and kind of like, I don't know when I don't know when I'm up.
It's torture.
Yeah.
You're there for like 8 hours and someone just goes,
like
now.
Those were the longest days of my life. Yeah.
Yeah, that's scary. There's a waiting thing Dana and I talk about, like it's waiting to see Lauren. There's some weird thing about it's always waiting and it just drives you bananas.
Yeah. And then your anxiety does kind of build up. I'm like, I hope can I stand by the time I'm out there?
I think when Lauren gets someone like you on the other side of it, they're thinking, like, you probably see this now. You've done Second City, you've done IO, you've done all these things. It's sort of a safe bet at some point. Like, you're not just out of nowhere, plucked out of nowhere. They do like to hear about you. I think they need a little buzz, maybe for one season, and then they hear your name again. And if they keep hearing it, they go, we got to check her out. And it's almost done deal then, at the beginning.
Yeah. Well, I certainly had I never thought I was safe. You know what I mean?
Sure. On your end. Yeah.
Right. On my end. And I think like, I don't know that there was any buzz necessarily, but although I'm sure Sharna probably said something, but I think I was a bit out of nowhere. And so I went for 2 screen tests. So then we went again at the end of the summer, and Lauren told me, he said, my second one was funnier than the first. And he said, that's why he hired me.
How crazy.
Wow.
Even to relive it.
You almost get more nervous later on.
That's weird.
Yeah.
But you look at you prepared yourself for whatever reason. You took all the steps so that it would be a possibility that you would get on Saturday Night Live. So let's move into, now you're on Saturday Night Live.
I'm on it.
Yeah.
Does anyone telling you anything? Are you sharing an office with 80 or what's going on?
I shared an office with Joe Kelly, who now does Ted Lasso with Jason. And I think he was there for Jason's last season. And he was so, he really like took me under his wing. And he was sort of our social coordinator too. So we went out a lot my first couple of years. We'd go out every Wednesday. I went to Amsterdam with a bunch of people.
Restaurant where was it? I'm sure I went there.
Amsterdam, the
country.
Europe. Yes.
Oh, the real Amsterdam.
The real Amsterdam.
I thought we went to Amsterdam's, which was, I thought, a restaurant I went to in Amsterdam.
We had our table in the back of Amsterdam.
You guys would go to Amsterdam every Wednesday night?
Every Wednesday night. I swear I'm telling the truth.
All the way
You could take Paul's jet. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Just I'll be back for read-through.
They're wild. You got to let them.
So you get on SNL and you start traveling the world.
They're wild.
Yeah. I had to... I wasn't able to pay my health insurance premium until January, though. So I think it was like my first tax return. That's when I got to go to Amsterdam.
Ooh.
Pretty cool.
I saw that you, at a certain point, you were on Update. How is that true? And how does that discussion happen? And then you wanted to go back to sketches more?
Yeah.
It's time consuming, right?
Yeah, it was. And it was, so I went on with Seth for a bit. and it was really easy then because Seth had been doing it and he had done it with Amy before. So he sort of knew how to do that duo. And then Seth left, and then I knew Colin was coming in. And I think it was just, especially, it was kind of like, it became very clear that this was going to take a lot of work to sort of figure out what our update would be. And that's when I it was kind of like, I don't want that to be my whole thing on the show, to have to like, I just felt it was going to take more work than that would take away from getting to do sketches. And it's sort of like, I liked being a guest on Update and felt like I had much more success doing that than being a host.
Your host is like the straight man.
Yeah. And I kind of like, I was like it was a cool honor. It was great. And there was a great team writing jokes. It feels like a whole different world at SNL, like the Update room versus sketches. Sure. But I certainly was like, I want to be in the sketch world more. And I don't want people to not write me into sketches because of Update. And knowing that it was going to need all this work was sort of, we had a lot of talks about it. And it was like, I would rather go back to just being in the cast then. Like, I think it could have been done maybe if it were just more if we had like a rhythm already, but we just didn't. It was so new, and it was, when they lose someone, it just, everything takes a bit more work. So it was getting used to not having Seth, and they're kind of like, they don't like you already because you're not Seth. And it was, it was like, I don't want that uphill battle when it already is so tough to sort of figure out your place at that place.
And we're all the better for it because your range is extraordinary. And so it seems like if Update usurped you and your energy and time, we wouldn't have all these great characters. You're just a natural sketch player, and you're someone who you want on your team. I mean, Lorne must have loved it when he discovered you could play this, you could do this, you could do that. It's great to have somebody with that kind of range.
Yeah, right.
In your sketch team.
I think because, I don't know that, now being there for a while, you sort of see how many different types of people do this show and make it work. And you're always like, there's people who are stand-ups, and they're, it's just like, not everybody comes from like a theater background. Yeah. So you're only going to have, right.
You're more valuable probably out there in sketches.
I definitely think I was more valuable in sketches than at the desk, because I'm not a stand-up, and so it was just wasn't as natural.
It's newscastery and it's good jokes, and they have great joke writers usually in Update, always
great joke writers.
I think Dana, is this possible? I was only there 6 years, but I think I lived through doing bits with Dennis on Update, Kevin Nealon, Norm, and Colin Quinn.
Wow,
probably, yeah.
Because Dennis was finishing, then Kevin had a long run, then Norm. Then he got fired, and then Colin, and when I left,
wow,
crazy, and
that
it is hard.
Crazy.
And Colin always says they were mad Norm got fired, and sort of took it out on Colin.
Yes, right. That would be hard to step into right after, right?
Because it's not Colin's fault. He's great, but you're just following, and they're like, "Wait, where's Norm? What happened?"
Yes,
then, that's true. And Colin talked about that he felt he should be sort of Norm-like in a way, like.
Yeah,
he's very affable and friendly, and he wishes he'd been more like that. Anyway, everybody has regrets, but you're the longest running female cast member, just
tenured.
A fun stat.
Although I do think if someone like officially ran the numbers, because Kate,
Kate, number of episodes,
because Kate was there like 5 episodes before 80 and I got there, and then I missed some because of other shows. So I felt like I was pretty darn close to 80 and Kate. Like, I think we're all
leaning at the table. We'll go back
and look call it a wash.
I would call it a wash and just...
Yeah, it's essentially around a decade.
Did you just rip the Band-Aid off and leave? You didn't make it a long goodbye, right? I think yours was sort of out of the blue.
Well, it wasn't really, though. It just wasn't a thing I was like, broadcasting to everyone. But publicly, when I went back that year, the way I went back when talking to Lorne was like, I would like to leave this year. And I think Christmas would be a great time because it's a happier show. And I'm going to be so sad to leave. So hopefully that'll
I'm doing more on the other end of this conversation.
Oh,
no. He gets attached to his cast members.
Yes.
Maybe stay till February.
I think they would. Yes, I'm sure he would have. It was probably like, we're not going to talk about it and broadcast it, because I think there was still a lot of people holding out hope that I would not leave.
Was it when did you go to Schmigadoon and then come back? Is that what happened?
In 2020, I did Schmigadoon that fall and got back in December. And then last year I did a play. I did this one woman show in LA. So I missed the first.
Lily Tomlin one, right?
Yes.
Wow.
Another long title.
And it was right, exactly. I'm comfortable with
filling those shoes. Did you hear from Lily at all?
She came to opening night. Actually,
okay,
which I found out that day, and that was I think maybe that was even more nerve wracking than having Lorne at that audition.
And Lorne asked that, make sure you're there on the opening night, Lily, but don't let her know until like a couple hours before, because like she works very well under pressure.
Right. Yes.
But you probably scored. I'm sure she was incredibly sweet. I would assume.
She was wonderful. I mean, I think I got to get applause for her at the curtain call, which was really, I was kind of like, great. Can I get through this? Can I say these things without weeping? But it was very cool having her there. And then unfortunately, Jane Wagner, who wrote the show, didn't get to the show, but we did. I went and saw her at her house, which was really cool, seeing all of her and Lily's. It was like a museum, really. So they have all their things.
In Search of Intelligent Life.
The Search for Signs of Intelligent Life in the Universe.
And yet, for short, I know people call it ISFAJJQQFR.
Yeah.
Just for short.
I call it the spaceship monologue.
The spaceship.
Well, by the way, I saw Schmigadoon.
Schmigadoon. You can't not do Adam Sandler when you say that. Schmigadoon.
Yes. I thought you were saying Chicago, which is our second season.
And it looks very involved. Like, is it a hard show? I think you produced maybe also, but is it hard because it's, first of all, very unique, which is so hard to do these days. And then the dancing and the singing and the jokes in the songs, all that stuff has got to be tough.
Definitely. I think, but there's a lot of outside rehearsals. We have a great choreographer and great music team. So it was sort of that, it all felt like once you were shooting, it felt very ready. Mm-hmm. Because especially that first season, we was such strict COVID rules. So we really were so limited with how much time we got with each other.
So just
tell
for a
everyone
second,
what it is.
For our viewers, you and Keegan Michael Key, I love his name, star together, and then go ahead.
Yeah, so we play a couple they're sort of a newer couple. They met and have a great thing, and then they're sort of at a rut in their relationship and arguing a lot. And Melissa just finds a hike for them to sort of, it's like a romance hike or a love building hike. A rekindling hike. And they go on it and they're arguing and caught in a rainstorm, and somehow they end up in this magical town called Schmigadoon. But they find out it's a musical every day. They've gotten themselves trapped in an old-fashioned musical.
They can't get out.
And they can't get out until they find true love.
That's a good, really interesting setup. And it's really well done. I mean, I was watching it going, just knowing a little bit about production, being on movies and how hard everything is, just when I do my basic crummy movies, to have this with like so many things happening and so many jokes written and just how it's got to be so tight. Everyone looks great. Very good job.
I will say the second season, there are more looks and worlds covered. So I think it was somehow we had the same amount of time, but I think like 20 more pages or something. So it felt a bit more frantic. But we got it done, and I think it's pretty fun in Canada.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Schmigadoon, Canada?
In Schmigadoon, Canada.
I always like it when you watch the first episode.
Canada.
I love when people are going into a surreal environment that can't be true, but it is.
That's lovely.
It's Vancouver.
And your character's kind of going, well, let's go with this. and your boyfriend's going, this isn't happening.
He's
He
very
is not
skeptical.
right. He's
I
not a
love that
musical
whole-
person.
Yeah. And then just so people know, you'll randomly say something to these people that you don't even know. And then they'll have a well choreographed, brilliant Broadway song.
They'll just start, right. And they were such great dancers. I remember there was one, it was like 8 a.m. or something. And this guy just did 16 flips in a row. It was just like, wow, what a different morning you and I have had.
Yeah,
you went on
just
you go to the Tunnel of
Broadway.
Love, and there's like a bad boy guy standing there, and then
Right.
he sings to you. This is probably early on when you don't really know that's what's going on, which is very funny reactions. And then I guess you guys start to get used to the fact that this is where you are.
Yes. And right, we stop asking what they're doing every time
And just accept it.
once we figure that out. Yeah.
That's on Apple TV.
That's on Apple
right now.
TV Plus. The new season, which is
Yes.
Chicago, is April 5th.
If you like Broadway musicals, which everybody does.
And then I do think first season, I think a lot of people who do not consider themselves musical people. We had a good amount of people.
Well,
I
I'm
think,
not a musical person. I liked it.
Well, it's kind
Yeah.
of science fiction in a way, fantasy science
hopefully
fiction.
there's
you know?
like something for everybody. And I think having Keegan and I lets like a comedy audience
It's
in
jokes.
that
There's
maybe
tons of
wouldn't
jokes in it.
think that was a show for them.
Well, the songs have jokes, so it's not just watching,
Right.
Yeah. It's
you know,
it's very original.
Nicholas
I would check
Nickleby.
it out. Yeah, I would check it out. And you and Keegan are great.
I
I
love
see Keegan
Keegan.
out a lot. I see him around in
He's
Los
the
Angeles.
best. Yeah.
Yeah, always good mood.
You can hear him when you're out too. I feel like when he enters the room, he's
Mhm.
there. So there's like a
He's
a
Very
big
loud.
scream laugh.
A lot of fun energy.
Yeah.
Could we just touch on as we go through your life here, just, some of your classic
Yes.
sketches? Like I know that you. I just kind of personally
I just want to say
some of
this is very cool for me. Just want you to know that. While
We've
we
been
sat.
watching you
I was
all
just like,
morning and
wow, I can't- yeah.
laughing out loud at your stuff. And that's why me and Dana are going back and forth before we called you. And we were like, did you just see this one? Did you see this one?
We're alums, and we don't want to make it too grandiose, but it is a seminal experience for us in that place.
Yeah.
And Lauren and being on live TV with your friends who you make lifelong friendships with. So this is very enjoyable. But I just kind of thought there was so many great cast members in that decade. And then I personally sort of started to notice you doing, like really connecting with the audience. Because I think it takes a while for the audience to go,
Right.
oh, we like Cecily.
Yes.
Yeah.
She just made me really laugh. And then it happens and builds. So I just saw that maybe, at least it was for me, those last 2 or 3 years, you were just at another level or some other level happened of confidence.
Yes.
And Gina Pirino, sorry. Yeah. Was like sorry, but like a heavyweight character, like a big, loud, bombastic. And that must have been fun just to play that person. That persona is so aggressive.
Yeah, definitely. And Brian Tucker wrote it with me. And he wrote it as a sketch first, just a sort of a Fox News thing, but no one really knew who she was at the time, even though we were like, she's a great character.
Yeah.
But the first time we did it, I don't think there was a big response. And then we tried it again on Update, and it was sort of, I was excited because it was a way to do a bit of physical comedy too, because I wanted to.
Oh, yeah.
And the first sketch that we wrote, we had her in a chair with a seatbelt, worried that she was going to fly out of her
'Cause
chair.
she's
So I was like, well,
'cause
then
she's
let me
so
fly
high
out of the
energy.
chair. That'll be our
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
You know, she always yells, Dana, because she was yelling for a Cobb salad and they didn't have they had cranberries on it. One cranberry.
Right. Yes. That's her volume or
And
something.
she never
Yeah.
went down on volume after that.
Yes.
But
Yelling at a waiter.
it was a big, powerful one. And then I'm always interested when people can do, because I don't know if I had that gear, play subtle, dumb, and talk. I'm just looking at the 2 porn stars you did with Vanessa Bayer. There's describe those 2 characters and the rhythm of how you're acting dumb, but not dumb. I mean, how do you describe that?
Yeah. I think my porn star was always a little bit more out of it than Vanessa's, but it was kind of, that's how the pair worked. you know, and I think mine's just, I remember seeing, I think it was like a Tyra Banks or something early on, and she had a porn star on, I forget who it was, but she was so like, yeah, I'm happy doing that. And there's just the way she was speaking was, I was like, oh, I want to do that. And I think it was also just a way to, writing with Colin Jost, we like to do a lot of malapropisms. And so it was, which we do a girl at a party, and then we wound up doing in porn. You know, it's like an excuse for a lot of bad puns too, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. But it's fun when you land a hard laugh with something that's so soft-spoken.
I think that was like, even more than girl at a party, I think that was the most, I felt the best after that first year. I think it was Jamie Foxx's episode. I think that's what it was. And it was my first year, and we were the last sketch. And I think, and Lauren gave us, it was still more cushioned when you're in that last spot. You can kind of, the audience went so wild for it. And it was so much fun to have that reaction for the first time.
At 10-1.
Yes. Yeah. And kind of be like a little dirty. And it was it was really fun.
Because you had a series of lines. The one I saw today was, this morning was, I got banged. And then something really, you're both doing it so obviously casual and so soft-spoken. But anyway, so I'm glad to hear that would be something. For me, it was doing Johnny Carson, because I wasn't thinking about whether the audience was going to laugh, because I knew what I was saying was almost too funny, at least to me internally. So I felt like you had that connection with that character, where it's just like all thrown away and really soft-spoken, but super funny.
Yes. I think that's sort of how we got away with all of it too. We kept saying, like, how can we just wanted a framework to be able to say these awful things. And we were like, oh, they were porn stars, but they're not anymore. And then it was like, and we had a lot of fun running gags. Like, I never got a name. It was always like, how do we do that this time? How can we skirt around me saying a name?
Like, can you give me an example of that?
Like, she'd say, we're not porn stars anymore. I'm Brecky. And I'd go, and this is Brecky. Or she said, I'm Brecky. And I said, and you can too.
Yeah, it's your non sequitur weird.
Yes, I'm not always paying attention. That gal at every moment.
They may have done drugs.
Yeah, you kind of hope that they did.
There was just I thought it was very cute when you and Kristen did. It's such a weird thing. You're on a date with a 10-year-old kid. But you guys just carry the whole thing, and you're so keeping it alive and funny and just sort of odd, but very likable girls.
Yeah. I think I wrote it with Mike O'Brien, and it was like, we just wanted to really write the best date that someone could have. There's something that felt really good. And it was like, and then it just happened to be 10-year-olds, but they really felt like this is really a date that's good.
I know the way you played it that's just fun to watch. Because I obviously, you start these, you don't know where it's going. And if you're in comedy, you don't know where it's fun to watch these things unfold. And then you guys just seeing two pros just being very funny on their side of it.
And having like Tim funny. And Bobby. It was a lot of giggling.
Yeah, I'm sure that just looks like a super fun rehearsal also.
Yeah.
And you Bobby Moynihan, you and he did the Best by Firing. That must have been kind of fun, because it was just so loud and you were supposed to be getting fired, so you just deconstructed every other employee.
Right.
Like, rip
if they're
them
going
apart.
out, they're going out with a bang. It was that was the first show I'd gotten a sketch on, and I got that on and Girlfriends on, and it was so great. Ooh. Because Bobby had been there for a while, and sort of like I really trusted whatever. If he's saying this is good, then I trust that it's. I was great. Really I hadn't quite yelled at the table yet before. That was my first time yelling at the table.
Definitely, this happened to me twice, not as much as Dana, but to either write something or co-write something. And when you originally get a big one on, it's so much of your focus. To have two on is almost throws you.
Yeah,
it's like, that's too much.
Yes. It was crazy that they both. I was sort of like, how does that will that work?
Because you have to oversee them, direct it. Like, there's so much to do with them, and go to wardrobe and costumes and set design and help with every aspect. And you're like, oh my God, just give me one. Let me just see if I can figure one out.
And you're like, well, is this going to work? It's my, wanting to make sure everything is like you've thought through everything for the first one. But then after,
was the other one Girlfriend's Talk Show? Sorry, was the other one
Girlfriend's Talk Show
with 80?
Yeah.
So there's your bandmate from.
There's your 80. Yep.
Yes.
So you have a comfort zone with her.
Yeah, I really.
At least in the early days.
I did a lot of two-handers for a long time over there, which I really loved.
Two-handers meaning duos.
Yeah.
Yeah, where me and Bobby or Vanessa and I, 80 and I, Kate and
those
I.
Are kind of those
Wayne's
are fun.
World was a two-hander.
Yes.
Hans and Franz, I'm going to say two-hander.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's fun. It's a very clean, simple thing. You're playing a rhythm with your other person, and it's just nice.
Yes.
Also, for getting laughs off a straight part was you and Bill Hader when he hosted, and you're going to play Uno with your friends.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
He's your boyfriend.
Well, that one. I wrote a lot with James Anderson and Kent Sublett, and I was like, we just have to, what I know of Bill is like, we just have to give him a big toy.
Yeah,
really. So it's like, give him a big motorized wheelchair.
And then you climb on him. I didn't see that coming.
No.
You have the courtesy
blanket. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's not like, and she goes, sex is sexual.
Right. It's not a sexual thing. It's science.
And she goes, no, sex is sexual.
And it's sort of, this awful trying to make your friends feel bad. Like, how much I want a baby.
Yeah, I know. It was all good. Yeah. Try not to laugh, of course, because he's banging into everything, driving his fucking
right. And there's no, we still only get however many rehearsals. And then, it's so, we don't know how any of it's going to work.
Backing up. You don't even know who's going to hit a table, or you guys are going to get your leg broken or
yes. Over. And I think like the controlled chaos was sort of, that became my favorite part of the show. It's like the thing that sets us apart from everything else is having it live and
not perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it was sort of like throw in a dog, throw in some wine that you're throwing or some, just then you have chaos that you're kind of like, I don't quite know what's going to happen. So then it keeps,
and the audience senses that
having fun. Yeah.
They want it for sure.
I had a dog with massive head wound hair.
Of course,
which was,
right.
But that was, I was just
dog
writing.
won an Emmy.
The notes after dress was, the dog is pushing a little. Could we get the dog to not find the lens? It's just
the dog's hosting during February Sweeps with Jay-Z.
So you do 10 years, you go through all these different cast members coming and going. When you first came in, who was there and who left pretty shortly after that, or were you?
Well, we wound up being we had a core cast for a long time together.
That came in.
Yeah. So it was Bill and Jason and Fred's last year.
Oh, okay.
When I got there.
You caught them for 1 year.
Yeah. So I got 1 year with them.
Solid. Yeah.
Which was so exciting, to have those people around when you're first there. Sure. It was really exciting. Yeah. And then, and Bobby, Taryn, Jay, Vanessa, they were sort of the next, and Nassim were all sort of the next upperclassmen. And then, but 80, Kate and I, and Beck and Kyle, we were there for a long time together.
Yeah, you did have a nice long run together.
Yeah,
Kyle Mooney.
Yeah,
Beck Bennett, Kate, of course. You. Yeah. The show keeps
and Kenan obviously.
Itself.
Yes,
and Kenan Thompson, just the perennial cast member. It was just always
when you leave mid-season. Is it
funny?
A weird feeling when the shows are still on?
It's definitely weird. It feels like it was much longer. It feels like a much more time has passed since I've been there. But I think I know 80 and Kate and a couple other people I've talked to, and even Kristen, I talked to her when she first hosted. It was kind of like I haven't been watching. I think you have to kind of walk away for a while to be able to leave. So
it's very weird to watch it after.
There's people doing your job.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's weird.
And I think all the anxiety I feel like would just come back right away. And I would, I just don't, I think I'm good where I am with this distance.
You did a good run. I mean, my God.
Yeah,
it's pretty comprehensive. Do you feel, I don't know, you probably feel so many things, but somewhere you must feel a nice level of satisfaction. You lived your dream.
Totally.
Yeah.
And
yes. And I got to leave like happy, which I know doesn't always happen.
No, I mean, we've heard of those stories.
Yeah. And I had a tough couple of years like everybody does. And so it was really nice to get to leave that way.
Going out with a bang. And now you have Schmigadoon. Is that the pronunciation?
Schmigadoon. I think that's a great.
You also may not know this. You're in a phone commercial.
That's right. Yes.
You wouldn't know that.
You might.
TV.
I don't know if you've seen it.
I don't know if you've seen it. You know,
can
it's
find it on
mandatory to see
YouTube,
it.
though.
Yeah. You have to go to YouTube.
I'm a big fan of tech commercials and phone. You don't. Potato chips and tacos is harder. Although I'm for sale at this point, I will bite a taco.
Yeah.
But when you're doing phone companies or that sort of Apple commercial or whatever, that's sort of nice. I mean, I think the commercials
very nice.
You look great and it's just sweet and it's kind of smart. So I'm a big fan of doing commercials as soon as you come off SNL. As you come off.
Great gig.
It's a great gig. And then you got, I think, who was in it? Seth was in the one I saw.
Seth has been, Jessica Williams just did one.
See,
so they've been, I was like,
believe
wow.
it or not, you were not supposed to do commercials. When you came off Saturday Night Live in the 90s, you were not supposed to do commercials. So that I'm not envious. I don't hate the people that do them now. I lived through them and I root for you guys. But do the commercials.
I know. It was like a new thing that we got to do a commercial during our time on the show. That was always like such a no-no, but I think in the past, however, a couple of years. Yeah.
I got shot down on that. Well, I have to tell her one thing before you get your last word, Dana. Born in Springfield,
Illinois.
My daughter lives in Springfield and growing up in Springfield. So I'm saying there's hope for her to come out like Cecily because you did it and you liked it. You were there for a really long time.
Well, I did move pretty quickly, actually. I was a year and a half when we moved to Oak Park, which is right outside.
What are your recollections of
what was the mall like when you were there at 1 year old?
But I'm sure it's what made me who I am.
Do you go back ever or no? Do you just that was
to Springfield?
Yeah.
No, not to Springfield.
She's like,
I did go back. I went back once. It's far away from Chicago, but I went. It was when Barack Obama announced Joe Biden as his running mate. It was in Springfield, and a couple friends and I drove.
He did it at the J. Crew at the mall there?
At the J. Crew. I got an autograph.
Barack Obama. So you have a memoir out. This will all be over soon, which I love the title.
Yes.
Written during the pandemic, and that's available on wherever you can buy it.
All the book places. Yeah.
Book places, yeah.
So I'm just so, I don't know. I'm just so thrilled that when they said, Cecily's in, it made me very happy.
Oh yeah,
so
it's like I think it's like a rite of passage to get to talk to you guys, and you are both some of the best who have ever done it, and you're doing well on the other side.
Very nice.
I love funny people, and we did ask Keenan about, we just as a kind of a pithy question, like, oh, who's the greatest? We all have to make a name up or whatever, rank things, and he gave the best answer. He just said spontaneously, the women.
Oh, that's
all the women.
Because
nice? He's a
freaking doll.
He is adorable. He's like, you want to adopt him.
Smart guy too.
Yeah.
The amount of women, and you're in that continuum between Amy and I'll forget the names, too many. Sherry O'Terry and
Maya, Molly.
Maya, Molly, Kristen,
Amy,
Kate.
Right.
Yeah, there's so many women who've done such brilliant work on that show in recent history. But we fancy ourselves, it sounds highfalutin, a slight, casual, funny oral history of cast members, interviewing cast members. We know where the grease paint is stored. So this has been a pleasure. David, do you have any final statement?
No, I like it. You get to talk about SNL, not bore everyone, because at certain times you just start talking about it and you're like, all right, well, forget it. I should stop. But it's fun to talk about because it's on your mind. It'll be on longer than you think. You just keep
You'll
because you were there
always
so
be
long.
from Saturday Night Live. And the great thing about the way the world works now with live streaming and all these venues, you're just going to work. You're going to do whatever you want to do in show business for decades now. But you'll always be from Saturday Night Live.
Yes.
You know, which is it's a great legacy.
Nice.
And
It's right. It could be
everybody
way
has a
worse.
story.
It's not. Yeah.
Could be way worse. It's great to have. I mean,
Yeah.
everything sort of comes from there, and came from improv places.
Well,
then
when
you go there.
When you can do live sketch comedy and do it with joy and do it as an expert, everything else that you can do, it's kind of, it's like
I feel like the greatest thing since leaving has been like seeing that people maybe see me now the way I saw Amy and Tina and Maya and Kristen walking in. And that was, I think, like, that's just a great thing to have in my pocket for a bad day.
Big deal.
To feel like I'm amongst those names, and that's so
you are
cool.
1,000% amongst, and everyone loves it at a certain age. One of Lauren isms, who was 14 at the time, but you've got your cast, your primary cast, and your people, and those fans are so connected to you. Forever, which is very sweet. They're 14 now, but you'll run into them later, and they'll be so. It's such an honor to be on that show, and to be humble about it, and just be grateful.
We're on the wall.
We get to do this.
We're on the wall.
We got to do a fun job for a long time.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're going to get started in a minute. We're just going to take a break, but we like to do pre-interviews on this.
I think we got a good show here.
We do.
We know what we're going to talk
pleasure.
about now.
Thank you very much.
I like to say
Thank
we're going to
you.
see you around campus in show business, and for sure at the 50th.
Yes,
And,
right.
So that'll be exciting. I hope I get to do something with you.
I know.
Hope we do something.
I would love that.
We'll put you in Wayne's
We got to
World.
start thinking about. Yes, please. That's one of the first movies I think I had memorized. That's probably I have the most memorized of all movies.
Oh, I like to play. I'm sorry, I was trying to think of one line.
And I think I did you
She
bought
goes,
me
of course.
a gun rack. What am I going to do with a gun? I don't even own a gun. I don't know. Yes.
A gun.
All of
A
it,
great
our
line.
whole lives
Great
are
movies.
surreal. But anyway, best of luck to you. I'm going to be watching your show with my sister who's visiting tonight.
Schmigadoon. And the new one is April 5th. So,
and it
All
comes
right.
out April
Apple
5th
TV.
for the next
April
season.
5th, yes.
All right.
Well,
Bye,
thanks,
hon. Take
guys.
Our pleasure.
A real
Love you.
honor and joy.
A pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
This has been a podcast presentation of Cadence 13. Please listen, then rate, review, and follow all episodes. Available now for free wherever you get your podcast.
No joke, folks. Fly on the Wall has been a presentation of Cadence 13, executive produced by Dana Carvey and David Spade, Chris Corcoran of Cadence 13, and Charlie Finan of Brillstein Entertainment.
The show's lead producer is Greg Holtzman with production and engineering support from Serena Regan and Chris Basil of Cadence 13.
Smart.
I have to work the word raw dogging and everything in life. So then I realized I found one with this much water.
So now you are
So
raw
this is for the
dogging or
whole
not
thing.
raw?
No, not raw dogging. This is just, I'm going to be scrimping like Scrooge McDuck. So, is that Hawk Tui or is that
Hawk Tui?
Hawk Tui duck? Yeah. Scrooge McDuck started that?
Yeah.
The Hawk Tui girl? Yeah.
I don't know when we are officially in some sort of futuristic society when Hawk Tui now has a 5-pitcher deal. God bless her.
Hawk Tui, I'm surprised she wasn't in Deadpool and Wolverine. She's such a huge star now.
I know. She's everywhere. She's
Hawk
hosting
Tui
the
girl.
Oscars. Her and
Oh,
Kevin
she
Hart.
is?
Yeah. Hawk Tui.
Her and Tina Fey.
Yeah. And her Vietnamese brother-in-law, Hawk Tui. Good night.
Vietnamese.
Well, Hawk Tui. Sorry. We can cut this out.
No. There's Hawkeye and there's Hawk Tui, and they're in the
Hawk
Avengers.
Tui.
Yee. Okay, so I saw Deadpool the other day, and I'm going to tell you the whole thing in 25 seconds.
Okay, what do we call them? Thumbnail grab.
Yeah, Oh, you got a couple. I'm jealous because there's a couple where you're like, last week I had the ugliest YouTube Shorts thumbnail grab. I can't even recreate
Everyone is talking about it. It trended quite.
Everyone goes, don't click on that.
My sister said, well, God dang, what's up with his thumbnail?
God dang.
God dang.
He was cute. And then I looked up his thumbnail. Okay. So I go to Wolverine. Of course, sit through the 45 minutes of previews. The problem with that is that's when you're extra juiced to see a movie. That's when you have the most attention. And they waste it with preview after preview after commercial after
commercials.
Nicole Kidman, bless her heart, I love her, but enough.
Nicole Kidman, yep.
And then Ryan Reynolds. He's funny in it. It's so long. He's funny in it, but I think he has too many JPMs, jokes per minute, as we know in the business. So each sentence is a paragraph. He says 9 jokes. I could go through there and pluck out a few because a lot of them land. He's very funny. I'm not saying that.
They know what they're doing.
But it's a lot. So my other only pet peeve, aside from not understanding the movie, is that I think as I get older, I don't understand things. But Bonnie and Clyde, I understood. They go around, they try to shoot them, they rob banks. Anyway, Dead Man and Wolver School is they fight a lot in it. They're friends, but they fight.
Right.
I guess because the movie came in at only 2.5 hours. So like, well, we got to pad it. So let's have you guys fight, even though you're friends. And so the problem with that, Dana, is they both can't really die. And this bothers me about like Superman fighting people. Yes, you get slammed into a rock. Yes, it hurts. Yes, you get your bell rung. Yes, you get stabbed with Wolverine's claws, which are 12 inches long and go through your heart.
Right.
But it just makes you mad or annoyed. And then they keep fighting and then they both get tired and they go, anyway, let's go find whatever we got to find. And they keep start walking down the street.
No one needs any medical care. They just beat the shit out of each other for a half hour.
Not Bactine, not bacitracin, not an eyelash in the eye. It's perfect. It was perfect. I'm worse after doing the podcast. I need a little medical attention.
Oh yeah, you need a whole adjustment. You got to go to a Pilates class. But this is just made in a factory. It's great. It's called a mashup. Can we possibly get Wolverine in the boxing ring with Deadpool? Does it make any sense that they exist? But they have greenlit the Hulk versus Superman. You wait for it for next summer.
Yep, and they'll fight each other. No one dies, but they'll fight for 2 hours and. You know, that is the truth. That because Wolverine was dead, and that was why his last movie was so good. Logan. And so he jokingly digs him up out of the grave to let people know, I know he's dead, you know he's dead, but we got to make a money here. So they make fun of it.
It's a global financial smash.
It's a fucking smash.
It's
and
a
if
smash.
They have enough money, they will get Hawk Tui in there. Okay, so on the sequel. So then I went to a birthday party Saturday. I'll let you talk toward the end of this.
I like to listen because I'm a shut-in, as you know. You went to a party?
Yeah.
Tell me. I want to hear more.
A party you were invited to, but it's a hike to come into town. I actually saw Adam that day, so the party's for Eddie Vedder. I'll just say Eddie Vedder because who cares? Because
Eddie Vedder.
We love Eddie.
Pearl.
60th birthday, Pearl Jam, and
Pearl Jam, lead singer.
He was on SNL in the old days. Very sweet then. We all, of course, are fans. One of the best voices out there. Sweetheart guy.
Iconic rock voice.
Yeah. You got it. You can't argue that. He's very talented. So fun. I don't see Adam that much. Everyone thinks we're together all the time, but he's in town. I'm in town, which is rare. So we go golf that day. And then he says, I said, there's going to be an 80s band tonight. Do you think, is Eddie going to get up and rock out with those guys? And that'll be fun if he does. And he goes, oh yeah. He goes, what are you going to do? Get up and sing American Girl? And I go, Tom Petty? No. I said, I don't sing. I said, are you going to sing? And he goes, yeah. And
of course, full band.
I go, what do you mean? He goes, yeah, I think I'm singing AC/DC. I go, you already know? And he goes, yeah, you're singing American Girl. I go, no. He goes,
You've already been assigned.
Yeah, I've been assigned. I didn't know it. I go, He goes, it's on the list. I go, shut the fuck up. I'm not singing. And it's obviously a joke because I can't sing, but I did Tom Petty my ex. They go, give him that. But Eddie will sing with you. So super fun. I go, I'll embarrass myself. But the problem is like, I'm just a regular clown, Dana. I'm a basic stock clown. I don't have singing. I don't have the extras. You know what I mean? Sandler's, give me a clown with all the extras. Can he sing? Yes. Can he play music? Can he write? Can he do everything? Yeah. He's got all that. I'm just giving me a standard stock clown.
Right. You do have a little bit of a Tom Petty singing a line or two.
Yeah, not
because that's like because I'm free falling. I'm doing Bob Dylan now, but that's kind of easy. But American Girl,
she was an American Girl. Raised on promises. I mean, you can kind of fake it, but you can't fake a whole song. So anyway, it'll be just goofy and anyway, I go there. Now I'm a little nervous that if I have to get up, but the party starts at 6, which is early bird special, but I forget.
I like
it's
that.
60th birthday, so I'm fine with it. I roll in at 7 because I think I'm king cock. You know, I'm like, I'll roll in when it starts to fill up. Dana, it's totally full at 7. And it's at our rich manager. It's at our rich manager's backyard in Malibu.
Oh my God, the acreage and the views and the columns and the dogs. My God.
Gervitz is our manager, and we laugh and do an impression of him that doesn't sound like him, but he's like, hey, you like it? One day, save up your money. Because he's richer than us. And it's when your managers, don't ever go to their house. Manager and agent, they're richer than you, and it will make you sick to your stomach. I'm like, he's got 100 clients. They're all famous. I go, well, it makes sense, but I don't want to see it in my face.
I remember I had lunch with one manager, and at that point I had a Honda Pilot, and he had a gold Rolls Royce, and it was like we're valeting, and they're like, "Who's the star here? What happened?"
They go, "Careful with the steering wheel; it's made of diamonds." And everyone's like, "Oh."
His shoes were literally platinum.
Yeah, and you're like fucking
rare platinum,
starting ears in the front.
No, I didn't have automatic window. I didn't roll it up. You know?
Yeah, you're the
all we're saying.
That's right. Is, cross your fingers. Put some away.
Yeah.
So yes, you Dana doesn't like money.
You just don't like to work.
You turned down one gig. Oh, sorry, Spade. Thought you liked money.
Well, you know, I mean, God love him, but you said it before, but it was so funny that on a little sheet that tells you where clients are going, and it would say David to Istanbul. And that's all they saw. It was just little words on a page, but you had to fly to Istanbul, and you killed, I heard.
I say you do it. Not that bad. Fun little road gig. 6 days of travel.
Yeah, you're going to Marrakesh. Yeah, Marrakesh. And it's a cute little hop to Istanbul.
Yeah, quick little layover, 14 hours. No big deal. Think of the money.
We get paid to travel. I forget some of my gigs. If I have a 12-hour flight, 24 hours in the hotel, 45 minutes stand up, 12-hour flight back. How'd the gig go? I have no idea. I have no idea.
Gig's the least of my problems. Yeah. It's just the shrug. You know, my last gig was a corporate gig. They just wanted me to meet some people and do 20. I'm like, 20? I think I told you this, and halfway through there were kids in the audience. I'm like, are there effing kids here? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, all right. But I still kind of, and I was like, oh, I'll edit these jokes. And it's funnier to act like I'm worried about it. Anyway, so I go to Gervitz's house. So I got to drive out there, which is, you know, I think we could all get a decent place out there because it's so far in Malibu. It's an hour 10 away. I don't mind the drive. Mm-hmm. And so I get things done. I make calls. So I don't like that traffic. So all Dana,
he's the happiest human on earth.
All Dana and I do in dinner is just talk like this about Gervitz.
Yeah.
So I get there. First guy I see, you'll be jealous, Ringo.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Peace and love. Peace and love.
Fucking peace and love.
Peace and love. Peace and love. Oh, they're like me brothers. They're like me brothers.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I would have had fun talking to
know
Ringo.
You missed Neil Young.
Oh, man, look at my life. I'm a lot like you were.
Yeah.
Now mention someone else and see if I can do it.
I saw him at the buffet. He goes, do you have any chalupas left?
A little falsetto, but that's okay.
I was just copying you.
No, I was at the buffet with him. I snuck in and I took his plate and he said, hey, mine. And he grabbed his back.
He said, hey, my, are you going to eat that last French fry?
Okay.
That's not
assist
bad.
there.
It's all in the buffet.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it was a big buffet. And then.
Yeah, it was a big buffet and there was a lot of stuff there. Keeps me searching for a heart of palms for my salad. Okay, there you go.
Ringo was next to me. He said, peas and carrots.
Ringo was there and I said, can I help you? He says, I'll get by with little help from me friends. I mean, they were all just singing their song to answer.
Their
me. It was
answers
crazy.
with lyrics. So there's a couple comedians there. It was definitely fun. But the big story is...
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Did Sandler wear shorts golfing? I'm sure of that. Did he also wear short pants to the birthday party?
You know, I think he wore a dressed up version of Sandler, which is like a puffer with a golf shirt and
long pants,
Jets sweats on or something.
Okay,
yeah. But it
curious.
wasn't too gussied up. I know he had his lovely wife Jackie was with him, and then I got word because it got dark, and then they said, "Oh, this '80s band went up and they were great." And then, but I said, "I don't think they're singing." And then they go, "We got a special singer." So I'm like, "Here we go. Who's it going to be?"
Boy.
You know what? It was Eddie's daughter, and she's about 14, and she sang the nicest song. Really good. And it was very emotional. And, listen, I know I'm the Tin Man, but even me, I got a little choked up, very sweet.
Mm-hmm.
And is it the Tin Man doesn't have that much emotion? I think you get it.
Well, no. No. Wait, okay.
The lion was a coward.
It was a coward. The scarecrow. Oh, yeah. The Tin Man didn't have a heart.
A heart, yeah.
How did it take me 20 seconds to give it that?
I didn't really get it. I thought he just needed oil. I don't know anything. I was like, what is his main thing, though? So you got it. Tin Man.
Tin Man. So you have a heart of steel, and then you're melted.
Yeah, I melted. Then Eddie says nice things. He gets a cake. No, I put. Is that oil?
Oh, you have a little clicker thing.
A lot going on.
All right. So then you're in tears. I tear up.
Yeah.
A commercial. I tear up constantly. Most of the
I
time
was
when
teared
I'm doing
up,
this podcast.
and then I said, "Oh, I better beat everybody out of here." So it went from tears to like, oh. But anyway, and then Eddie
tears to fears,
and but by then, there's probably 30 people left because now it's 9:30, which is midnight for people.
Yeah, in Hollywood. Yeah.
And it's freezing out. I got heat lamps. You want a sweater? So it's freezing out in Gervitz's massive backyard next to his tennis court. And so I say, I'm going to bounce to no one because I just leave. I sneak out like Homer Simpson in the bushes because what's there to say? So I say, I
like to just go because then I'll see you. Hey, this was fun. How are you? Okay. You just disappear.
You're not going, are you?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that guy.
Yeah. Stay.
Hey, come on. Just have one little drink. Just one little drink. We can stay for a while.
Who is there?
Joe Biden. Joe Biden. What are you doing here? How does he here's a drink? I don't even drink.
What happened to Arthur? Oh,
Arthur.
Old movie reference.
Sir John Gielgud, who played the assistant to Arthur, the billionaire alcoholic. Would you like me to come in there and wash your dick?
Is that what he says?
I believe so. It's PG-13. Look it up.
So anyway, I left because, one of our comedian buddies said, hey, they're not singing. Eddie's not singing. They're not going to do that whole thing. I said, oh, okay. Well, I don't care. I mean, by then I was like, yeah, I had gotten a lot out of it. It was super fun. Beautifully thrown by his wife, Jill. So I took off. And then Adam says the next day, oh, yeah. About an hour later, it got going. They started singing. I was like, of course.
Oh, that's like at the 40th. It was like
Oh,
quarter to 5 a.m. I've been up 80 hours.
Yeah,
and
and then
so my
Prince
wife and I
comes
slipped
on.
out the back, and there's like, oh, you missed Prince.
Yeah.
Fuck. Never leave if there's a rock star at the party.
Never leave for any reason anywhere. Never
Mhm.
just stay everywhere.
And
So-
never go anywhere.
All right, that was a boring weekend, but that was fun. But that's my story, and now I want to talk about the Olympics because that's really the big story. Obviously, I'm on the road. I'm doing this tour, Dana. You're out there.
Mhm.
I took my new away bag. Let's take a look at it. Heather's here. Okay, I'm an international stupid star, as you know.
Yes,
this-
I've heard the rumor.
This
Mhm.
is the black one. Here, twist a little bit. You're not being a good. Well, sideways, yeah. This is the one. So everyone has black, but this one is great.
Mhm.
You can tie a little thing around it. That's enough. But it's good because it's not completely rock solid. It's got,
Yeah, totally.
it's got the soft side, right? And
Right.
these are the best ones in the world.
Mhm.
This is a game changer. And you can take it on the plane. So, like when you go out and you shove all your props and all the things from your act. in
All
there.
my wigs and my Garth
wigs,
glasses.
props.
Yeah. Hans and Franz outfit.
And when people kept stopping me to sign a million things, most of them were like, what's that? Is that new? Is that an away luggage? And I have to go through the whole rigmarole with them.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Okay, you can put it down. Heather's getting sore clavicle.
It's like Bob Barker. You've got
I know,
assistants
it is.
holding
Good
up
job.
away luggage.
You
Mhm.
know, this is their best seller is the black, best color, but they come in
Mhm.
4 sizes, 4 colors.
Guess what? I'm a rebel. Look at this.
What do you got?
It's kind of a whitish gray, soft side. Feel it, touch it, got to do it. So I love maneuvering. These things can maneuver through an airport like nobody's business.
Yeah. Because my old one was like, I was carrying bricks around, and these are a little lighter. You can kind of push them and just, you don't think about it.
They
as
have
much.
4 wheels and they turn, and they're very, this packs a punch. You can fit a lot of stuff into this little guy here. This
Yeah.
is like an R2D2 size.
It's tear resistant, water resistant, because, those guys don't care.
And in your case, fan resistant. It's a shield. Get back.
Talent resistant. If you spill stuff on it, wipe it off. That's easy.
Mhm.
If you cry and your tears hit it, that's fine.
Right.
It's like water. It thinks it's water, even though they're your baby tears.
And listen, Softside is actually made of high strength nylon. So it's durable and tear resistant as well as water resistant. That's a threesome right there.
It holds a lot. It stays upright. Check out the new soft side luggage from Away and head over to awaytravel.com/fly. That's us. Fly.
There's never been, the Olympics is every 4 years. There's never been this much crying of defeat, crying of joy. It's a real sob fest. It's like if they win, they lose, whatever. It's just sobbing and crying.
Happy crying, sad crying. Okay.
All right, here we are. Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and read it.
Okay, for you drivers. Olympic gold medalist found sleeping in park due to subpar conditions at Athletes Village. I didn't see this one. What does that mean?
He said
it was so bad at the Village.
Oh yeah, there's no
okay.
air conditioning, he says. It's hot, food is bad, athletes move for this reason. It's not an alibi or an excuse. It's the reality of what perhaps not everyone knows. Okay.
I know the background on this.
Well,
The guy they put in charge to clean up the river, he also built the village.
the Poop River, it's Poop Village too?
The Poop River guy. The Poop River guy also did Poopy Hot Village. So that guy, I don't know. Maybe he should look for work elsewhere.
It's France's Secretary of E. coli, that guy?
Yeah, they said, you're going to have air conditioning in the Olympic Village, right? Of course I will. Stinky and hot.
Oh,
All right.
and that place is a Toyota fuckathon. That's where all the athletes get it together, and but they also, all the beds are made of cardboard because they don't want them, I guess, to hook up. But the truth is, you need these athletes, even though they're in prime physical condition. They all look like models, but they can't sleep that well. It's not that comfortable.
Could we talk about that? I mean, just being a of any age, watching these people walking around like divers and these women gymnasts, everyone, they're just muscles with a head attached.
Mhm.
Everything is just perfectly balanced. And they're just like, so you just feel so shrunken down and beat up when you see these people.
I know. I'm
They're
always
incredible.
I get up to go eat another gallon of ice cream. And I'm like, walk by the mirror. 2 years ago, I could beat the shit out of that dude.
I know. I put on a unitard, get in front of the mirror, and just like pose. And
Of
I give
course.
angles, and I say to my wife, "Could you just adjust the lighting?" But that's that's just breakfast time.
I pull a jukebox in my room because it gives you an
That's
uplight.
not a
No, it's the wheels.
that's a jukebox wheels movie.
It's got wheels on it.
What won't you adjust?
It just sounds like I gotta push this rusty old jukebox in, and then it gives you uplighting.
But then what does it sound like when you lock the wheels in place
Oh yeah,
so it won't roll?
no, you got to lock in the hubs, and then you got to push some fucking lover boy song. Everybody's working for that's what my jukebox has. All 80s.
I love seated dancing because it only can
All
be
arms.
that. Yeah, all arms. Hey, man. But still, the Olympics. I admire the homeless people in Paris for not taking that guy's gold medal from him. Whoever else was sleeping on the street that night, they just said, "Leave him alone. He's champion."
When you have to use your gold medal as a pillow, you're like this, and as a blanket.
Using your gold medal as a pillow, you
Yeah.
maybe should have tried a little harder.
Yeah, well, go to the next story because there's a lot of Olympic Village stories.
Well, we got a lot of
We got a lot. This
This is
girl,
for our-
Luana
yes, I read
Aloso,
this
kicked out of Olympic Village.
for
And this is inappropriate behavior. Now, this is I would say, beautiful swimmer from.
well, that's to my point. Yeah, she's fit, and
Paraguay?
a lot of them just look exactly like models.
She looks gorgeous, and the best thing
Mhm.
she could have happen for her is this because everyone's curious
Right.
about her now, and if she could have said for having sex in Olympic Village, she walked out of the Jamaican bobsled. So, hey guys, it's a team effort, But no one says what it is. They just say, "Hey,
Well-
inappropriate," which means vague, which really is trashing her.
I think I know what it was.
What
There
was
was
it?
an outdoor shower, and she had bikini bottoms on and sort of like a bra. And she would take long showers outside to the point where it was distracting the other athletes. That is not a joke.
Well,
There
this-
is that picture somewhere.
Just the story is distracting to me.
These long, sudsy, steamy showers.
You can find that
publicly.
picture, I bet. She looks cute anyway, and then she,
Yeah, even sideways.
yeah.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
So,
Isn't there a shower
Okay.
one? I saw the shower one online. But anyway, if you can find it. But
what country was she representing? Because I think
Paraguay.
was she. Okay, so
It's-
she was actually a world class swimmer.
She was like
But she-
not
she-
world class because she got smoked. But once she was done, I think what happened was
She got smoked, all right.
she was defending herself, saying, I think she went to Paris Disneyland and took some selfies, and they were like, "Oh no, no, no,
Oh.
no, no."
No.
There she is.
Okay.
See that
There she is.
green picture?
Click on the shower one. So that was
Yeah.
hours a day where people would walk by and they
Click,
go, "Are you
push,
clean
click.
yet?"
Oh, boy.
This is her picture of
You
her
can't click it.
outdoor,
We'll put it up on the podcast. I mean, on the
outdoor
YouTube.
shower. So anyway, God bless her. I wish her all the best, and she's very clean.
And what's her OnlyFans link? I mean, honestly, if you have this much of an audience and you've
Mhm.
ever thought about OnlyFans, now's the time. I mean, when are you going to get that crowd again? But maybe she's very against that. I'm not saying
Mm.
that's what every girl does. I'm just saying she's
You
very
don't have
pretty.
to do porn on OnlyFans. You can also just be
Right.
a nice person.
Do your
Hi,
day.
everybody.
Hi,
Mhm.
here's
yeah.
Fit
So-
check from Revolve. Okay,
Yeah.
what's the
Mhm.
next one? Hmm.
Mhm.
What's the next Olympic big story? I like this girl. Who is that? Is that Gabby
Gabby
Thomas? I thought she
And-
was great.
She's a Harvard grad. She just won the Olympic championship in the 200 meter. She looks like a model, and she's going to open a children's hospital. So every time they mentioned her, which I get it, they said, "Well, the Harvard grad is coming out of the blocks fast. Here's the Harvard grad's coming on fast. Harvard grad by a nose." So it goes to show you that a lot of these athletes just were kind of like us, went to community college for a semester.
Was
But
she in
is
the
quite
army
an
at all? Did you
overachiever.
say?
I don't think the army.
Someone was.
We do have army people, which is great, but she is kind of like made out of a factory.
She's America's top runner. She's America's top model. She's super cute.
And a top intellect.
Yeah,
she's already put her hat in the ring for 2044 for president.
She could be the president this year, by the way. She's already way ahead
the way
of the
it's
game.
going. Yeah, she did good in the.
Did she keep winning? Because I saw her in a couple, but as of press time, I don't know if she's won everything. She won more.
Well, I just know that she's probably part of the relay team, which isn't. I don't think it's happened yet. 4x100.
Yeah.
But she won the 200 meter, and she won it in impressive fashion. Like she was dominant.
Now, Dana, here's my big thing about her before we leave this story.
Okay.
Don't worry about my hat, how fucking cool it is. Okay, look at this. She's wearing a watch, gold watch. That's during her race. I know sometimes they have long hair and shit, which I would think I would shave my head. I mean, I don't know if it drags. I don't know all that stuff, coefficients that you know, but heavy. When I wear my gold watch, which I don't have on, to dinner, it hurts my shoulder. So I think if you're running, it has to slow you down. I would just not, I would thin it down.
Yeah,
Thoughts?
I know. I'm kind of surprised because a lot of times it'll be double bracelets, heavy, multiple necklace.
Yeah.
A big sort of head thing made of carbon. So yeah, you have to be real. It's very dominant to do that with a giant heavy watch on your hand, but she was dominant.
Yeah, she's like, don't make me take this off and then really smoke you. Okay, move on. I just thought that was an interesting comment by me.
We're going to leave with that with the YouTube shorts.
Wait, what's this Al Michaels bullshit? Is that what is this?
This is amazing. So this guy, Al Michaels, probably the most famous sports announcer of the last many decades.
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant. He wants to go to the Olympics. They ask him, can you narrate the highlights each evening for us? And he goes, yeah, I'd love to. And then they said, well, guess what? We're going to have an AI do your voice.
Up.
So every night he sits at home with a nice cold beer. His AI avatar does the highlights, the vocal voiceover, and he doesn't have to do anything.
He doesn't. They don't show his picture. They just do a voiceover.
I believe so.
Oh my God.
But if you hear that voice, know it's AI, Michaels.
Do you believe in miracles? Yes, that's his most famous quote, which is deserved. He's so funny, and he just seems like the coolest guy.
He did Monday Night Football with our friend Dennis Miller.
Forever.
No, he's great, and I think you just embrace the concept of it.
Well,
I'd like to announce right now, and I know it's awkward. We've been going for a little while, but I am a digital AI copy of Dana Carvey.
You are?
Yeah, Dana Carvey is hiking.
Dana's hiking right now.
It's going to happen.
Who can think of our blistering one-liners?
What robot could keep up with us?
I'll take on AI.
As comedians trying to be funny. That's the hardest thing to do. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If an AI is better than me, immediately I'll get sick. Okay, this is more crying, right?
Here's the thing. It's every 4 years. If you win or you lose it, because you don't get a second chance.
It's a big deal.
You and I get a million chances. We go for decades bombing in clubs and theaters, but we go again and again and again. But these people have one shot. If we had one shot, our entire career, every 4 years, there'd be a stand-up comedy for the gold medal. All right, David Spade, now he's going to attempt his joke. He's picking up the mic. And now he's laying down the premise. He's saying he went to Burger King. The judges are looking. The crowd is a small little laugh. Let's look for the turn here.
Oh.
Here comes the punchline.
Not the laugh he was looking for, Dana.
Whopper, but it wasn't as big or whoppy as he thought. The gold medal is going to whoppy as he thought. The gold medal is going to David Spade.
Oh, he really missed it. He said double cheeseburger. He was supposed to say Whopper, and that was sort of. I think that's just nerves.
Dana Carvey closing with his Ross Perot from the 90s. He's coming in hard. Can I finish one time? Oh, my God. But yeah, we're very lucky that we get to bomb and fail so much. But for Olympic athletes, they do have the events between, but the Olympics is very painful.
Carvey's joke wins by 0.5 of a second with his joke.
Carvey wins, but judges say it was a steal from David Spade's special. Get her done. Ooh.
That's special.
Get her done.
Take the hit.
Take the hit.
That's where they came from. Okay.
I like your, yeah. All right, next.
There is crying in the Olympics. No crying in baseball. Okay, this is what we were just talking about. This one, I would have bet money on who won, and I would have been wrong. Even the announcer got it wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Everyone thought Jamaica had won, and Noah Lyles in the 100-meter dash just came up like he was behind at 98 meters.
Well, this isn't a straight line right here. This is because what has to cross first is body, head, or foot, or hand.
Well, they decided in the early in the oldie days, like 1920s and stuff, they just had anything across the line. So some athletes were wearing like oversized shoes and they just kicked their leg out to win. Or really tall guys, they just throw their hand across the finish line. So they made it so they'd hold a tape. And if your chest hit it, normally it would wrap around the athlete who won. So that's why it starts. So it's your torso first. So Noah leaned. Jamaica didn't lean in the same fashion. His foot's across first, but not his torso. But I've never heard of this. He lost the race, think of this, by 5/1000ths of a second.
Right.
I mean, that's not like that. That's like 1/1000th of that.
So you're looking at this red pole and it's going across the white line. But see, we're not looking straight. We should be like this because
you need a better angle to see it.
Something's poking across. It might be his hawk.
We need a direct shot. But think about the gentleman, I'm sorry, I don't know his name, that took second place by 5/1000ths of a second.
Yeah.
Jamaican, walking around the village. How'd you go? Oh, I got silver. That's too bad. Would have been fun to be a champion. I lost by 5/1000ths. Hey, it doesn't matter, dude. You lost. I don't need to hear any kind of time details. A loss is a loss, bitch. Jesus.
Yeah, all I heard was second, dude.
All I heard was second. I don't need any gobbledygook after that.
You could have been 100 yards. That Franklin Ajayi, you know that comedian?
Worked with him many times.
He said, could you picture being in the mile race in the Olympics and you're last and you're running along going, wait, am I last? Wait, I trained for 4 years and I'm last? I didn't have to train at all and I'd still get last.
That's a great one.
It's a great.
I had a coach that when he in high school, we had tough coaches. So he'd hear us talking about what we would do in the next season and training. He goes, the cry of the loser was his thing. So this guy going like that. Well, I took second, but it was hey man, that's the cry of the loser. I don't need details. This is what you're doing. This is what I want you to do. You're a loser. You'll always be a loser. I was second in the world. Don't want to hear it. Don't want to hear it. You're a winner or you're a loser. There's no such thing in my world as second.
The Trump.
I'm getting so bored of doing Trump. I'm taking a breath.
Okay, next one. Let's see. We're really jumping around. I want to get to the ones. Oh, is that
okay? Snoop? This Snoop Dogg is a pop culture phenomenon. This is a rare time he doesn't have sunglasses on. This guy, everybody loves him. It really is true. He's the coolest, most effortless personality. He's wandering around the Olympic Games. This was true when Noah Lyles was doing the 200-meter heats, which we could talk about that in a second. They had it on Snoop. I guess he was sitting with Martha Stewart. So this is what Snoop Dogg is saying while Noah runs down the track. Okay. He goes, don't eat. Don't eat. Don't eat. Now you go ahead and eat. So he meant pace yourself. Now go for it. Try to win.
I thought he really meant.
But he's saying don't eat. Now go ahead and eat. Who would say that?
I like it.
I love that guy.
He's all over the Olympics. He's sort of turned into our Ryan Seacrest because he's at all these events. He's at every big in every commercial.
Well, they got him in outfits. He's dressed as a jockey. He's feeding horses. He's at every event. He's like, he is like, where's Snoop?
Yeah.
So
So he's doing a good
that
job,
was-
and I heard he's
that
getting
was a
paid
smart
up the
thing.
ass, which is good. I'm glad they pay people.
Are you catching the big game or making big mods? Going on that first date or installing that first brake kit? Binging that new show or watching install videos?
When you're a real car lover, the choice is obvious. eBay Motors has you covered with over 122 million parts to fit your number one ride or die. Brake kits, turbochargers, LED headlights, exhaust kits, bumpers, roof racks, and engines. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has all the parts you need for the ride you love. Plus, at these prices, you're burning rubber, not cash. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. Oh, this might be... Dana, I didn't know what this was, and I saw a clip. I go,
wow,
wait.
Weird.
So look what they do.
Diving? All right, let me see the...
Difficulty here of 45.00.
So they all jump in the pool. They can't touch the bottom, I don't think. And now they do little tricks. It's like synchronized swimming.
Wow, incredible.
Incredible athletic. Ooh.
This is their speed and passion.
Looks like they're being attacked by a shark. But you know what? Look, they move their heads. They stick their arm. They're all great. They all have great legs.
Very solid and good height on the flying
Ooh,
fish.
wow. One didn't shave her legs.
Please, that's not all she didn't shave.
I know.
Please tell me they won the gold medal.
1 point down for a bush. Yeah, look at how good they are. I don't know. And they can't. Look at their feet. They're like on swivels.
No, they're upside down in the water, kicking legs. And it's like.
They're not breathing.
They would have put this in an MGM musical in 1950.
Really? Exactly. Too loud.
This is amazing.
All right, you can turn the sound off. I just want to stare. They're all so goddamn good. Look at kick, kick, kick.
I know,
Perfect.
but doesn't it make you want to swim and jump up like they can? I mean, it's just all this physical.
Honestly,
stuff.
Dana, you think I'm lying. If I put my legs up there and got in that water, you would not tell the difference. I have good legs, Carrie Underwood legs. People are whispering. I hear it. These are other people's words.
Yeah, yeah, but would you say they're feminine legs or masculine legs? I don't.
Let's go to the phones. I don't know. I do have probably 8 to 10 hairs on my legs. Not that many.
I always had what they called chonkers. Like I was.
Oh,
like
you do?
I had no upper body when I was running in high school and college, and just gigantic legs. I had the legs of a 200-pound man, and I hated them because when I would. I just, in those days, you wanted to have lean distance runner legs, but they were just gigantic.
Hey, chonkers, you going to lunch?
Yeah.
Hey,
I've got
chonkers.
chonkers.
So you said Sandler's seen them?
Yeah. Sandler's got, I went golfing once and I had short shorts on. And Sandler's like, Carvey, your legs. What the fuck? What are you doing? No, but yeah, he's got some chonkers on him too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next. What else we got? We got lots of stuff. Maybe not. No. This guy with the TikTok hair.
Oh, okay.
I think he's He had his nether regions knock the pole off. Now, I had heard this was on purpose. Is this possible?
You could say it. He did it on purpose, but he couldn't do it like 10 times in a row. This is a pole vaulter who hit his unit private
ball bag
that made the bar fall off. So you go way over and he came down on it. If he intentionally did that, I don't know if you could do that every time. That's almost harder than just clearing the pole
I mean, you're trying to
Just
get
clear
your arms back, everything back. So you're on it in a weird way. You're pushing your wiener out because you're getting everything back. And you don't really think about that.
You want to create space. The guy who won it doing like a 25-foot vault, you go into kind of a curl. So the bar is really kind of, you're concave. It's sort of inside your waistband. But you put it this way. If you're pole vaulting, the first rule of pole vaulting is do not let your penis touch the bar on the way down.
And the funny thing is,
John Kennedy.
If you could, I love John Kennedy from last week.
Senator.
A lot of comments on that. If you wanted to be a hater and you're out at a bar with this guy, you go, oh, here's a guy that knocked it off his wiener. And all the girls like, ooh. And then you go, yeah. And pole vaulting is such a precise sport that you could miss the bar by a 1/4 inch and you'd still win. So you have at least an 1/8 of an inch wiener. And he's like, wait, what? And they're like, oh, it might be a 1/4 even to knock that bar off. And everyone's like, huh?
But he was seen before he started down the runway with his hands in his pants.
Oh, is he slapping it?
It was just his hands were in his pants. They have a video of
waking
that
it up, get a little chub.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
I know that trick.
He has a deal with Netflix. He's going to do a short film with Hulu. He has a small tour at Atlanta. I guess he's playing Tallahassee.
OnlyFans. I mean, listen, Dana, if you were one of these Olympic athletes, you're going to blend into the crowd. Mm-hmm. You're going to win or lose, and you're going to go on your way. You've trained for probably 15 years for this. And then if you're not doing the next Olympics, suddenly you have every day free. What are you doing? Mm-hmm. So this is the place, worldwide audience. Whatever you want to get out there, get the word out. If you want to stuff your pants and knock the pole off and go, hey, I'm the guy with the wiener. You want to hire me for whatever? Let's do it.
Well, by the way, he was hanging out with the Jamaican who lost by 5 1,000ths. And the same people, they go, what place did you get? Well, I didn't win. That's all I need to know. No, but I hit my wiener
huge
on the bar.
Ween. Big bone.
My
marble bag.
Huge
one huge nut.
I got over the bar. But I had a passenger with me called my dick.
It's funny story. I cleared the bar. That's all the time we have. No. I cleared it because of my dick. My dick's big. My dick's big.
I have a partner. There's 2 of us getting over the bar. It's my unit and me. Now I call it my Spader after David Spade because I am a huge Joe Dirt fan.
We had an anaconda situation and they brought out Terminex because my trouser snake took over the Olympics. Well, this guy, bless his heart.
No, I mean, next time wear a hooter clamp. I've said this before in the podcast. A hooter clamp will clamp it into submission.
Right. Sometimes I take a chip clip. I clip it to my balls. That's one way. You can always use a bungee cord.
There's other products out there, but hooter clamp gets it done.
Long story short, I'm jealous. Okay, next one. As you hear my computer go off. Oh, this is just a random story.
Okay, we're off the Olympics.
I guess so.
Kind of story.
Well, Michael Jordan was in the Olympics. His kid was seen snorting something. By the way, this is not a blurry paparazzi picture. My headshots didn't come out this good. And he's snorting something off a little spoon. Could be baking soda. I don't know. I have no idea.
I believe it was, I think Michael Cade was there. And Michael Cade said, well, if you like something to clear your sinuses, it's a thing the Brits call stuff. It's just a little powder. It's not anything illicit. It's just British and it's stuff. And if you'd like some Marcus, I could give it to you. So that's my take.
So it could be booger sugar. It could be powdered Pepsi. We don't know. It might be. Hang on. Sniffy Jiffy.
It's not a great look. I mean, you don't want that picture out there. I mean,
no wonder he's not that hungry. Look at him. He's like, I'm full. I'm not even.
Most in the olden days, people, if they were doing something like that, they go to the bathroom. But now he's out at a coffee shop with photographers around. So maybe it was kind of a joke. I think it's a joke. I think he did it as a joke. Like he's holding up kind of an eyedropper. Yeah, look at me, Paps. That's it.
Yeah, I have no idea if this is true or false. It's just, Michael Jordan's like, really? I mean, I probably doesn't get that mad. He's like, come on, guy.
I think knowing that it was just a joke, it's probably they both had a good laugh.
He goes, now you care that I'm his son? Now you care.
Oh,
I know that took a sad turn. But people are looking for usually negative stories. They're not looking to pump.
Wait a minute.
up.
Are you saying that?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying
no. People do like to take you down a notch.
Okay, what is this?
Who are these 2 cuties?
Who are these people? This isn't.
Oh, North Korea. DPRK. Yeah.
Oh,
so
that spells North Korea? Okay.
I think so.
The Republic?
The Republic of...
Okay, so what did they win?
Well, I just think like they have to win. or they might as well not go home.
Oh yeah, you don't want to go
right?
back and go.
Yeah.
Kim Jong Un is like, oh, a bronze. That's awesome. Blam.
Yeah. Hey, because you did so well, you're gonna go camping in a camp. Great. Should I bring my sleeping bag?
Yeah.
You won't need that in this camp. Should I
Yeah.
bring food and a bathing suit?
No, you won't
Nope.
need anything.
You check into the camp, but you won't check
Yeah, it's like the
out.
Roach Motel.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, next one.
All right.
There's only one more I'm trying to think of.
Okay. I can't remember.
It was about
these two guys. So this was for the Olympic gold for surfing. These are the two finalists, and they go out in the water for a half hour and catch waves. I think the guy in the red only caught one wave. So for 20 minutes, there were no waves, and these two dudes were just talking. And finally, they had a recorder on. They were just like, I don't know, what's up? I mean, they're in the Olympic final, just sitting on their board.
It's so risky. Yeah, you don't know when the waves are coming. And they were in like Tunisia or Puerto Rico. Where were they?
No, it was in Tahiti. And there've been good waves, but sometimes the ocean doesn't cooperate. There was a couple, but there was at least 15 minutes in the middle where they were heard saying, so I don't know if I'll marry her. I could. I don't know. Yeah. You could just maybe
Can
just
I borrow
chill on
some
that
surf wax?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I think that it's very odd to be in the middle of nowhere. You don't really feel like you're in the Olympics because it's fun to be in Olympic Village. Everyone's a ripped, 90% of them are like chiseled, beautiful men and women. And they're all just hanging out, going from other countries. How fun. And this is just, you're on an island, but they stay on a boat, which is beautiful. They stay on a yacht. And that's the difference. They stay in the most beautiful yacht, like a Bezos type yacht.
And they need waves, unless that French guy who did Pooh River and then messed up the village.
Yeah.
I will do it. I will do indoor waves.
No, he goes, we'll make that ocean full of poop. Just give me a couple extra weeks.
And you say, ocean full of poop? That sounds funny.
It won't be.
Funny.
Wait till you get in it.
I just made the Poop River. I only touched my toe in it one time. Okay.
Oh, who is this person?
So, sorry, I can't remember her name. She's lovely.
Is that Suni? Is that her name? Is she
could be
American?
She's an American, and she's Simone Biles. She fell. This other person fell. It was a fall fest, and they said that sometimes it's sort of catching,
or the beam is wrong, right?
Well, the beam, whoever made the beam is a torture artist, because at some point they were making the beam in 1896. And he's like, hey, should we make the beam a little wider? They could fall off a lot. And the guy said, no, that's the perfect width. Meanwhile, broken limbs and egos, bruised egos. But they all started falling. And one of the reasons is that when they're doing the Olympic trials, there's music on and the crowd can go ooh and ah. There's ambient noise. In Paris, they want it dead quiet. And then their teammates would go, woo, way to go. And then the people in the audience were shushing them. Shh, shh. And you're on the balance beam trying to do 3 backward somersaults on a thing an inch wide. So that, you hear the shushing and then you do a nosedive.
Honestly, Dan, you just hear your heartbeat because it's just too dead silent. It's too scary. It's fun to have a little music and shit. Like, hey, let's just blend it in.
Just anything that get out of your head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the prototype for the pommel horse. And it was too wide. Yeah. It was too painful.
Too wide. People failing.
So they go, we got to use it somewhere. Let's make the girls walk on it. Terrifying. They always hurt themselves.
I mean,
Suni Lee is a girl. Am I right? She's on Olympic team. She won last time. But anyway, great Olympics this year. There's more to come, but we only got to cover it all the way till now. It's almost over, and thanks for listening and watching.
Thanks for listening, watching, and if you want to, we're supposed to say this, it's in our contract, you can smash that subscribe button.
Don't just push it. You have to smash it. Yeah. And there are enough comments on YouTube. I think it's nice to read the comments because it does shape us. If I hear something a lot that they do or don't like, I like to hear it.
Do you have any constructive criticism you want to share with
about you? Oh, just real quick.
I can't look at
CVS receipt full of notes for you.
I can't look at comments because my inner monologue is so much more negative than what I read that I don't even need.
We're crazy people, but surprisingly, YouTube it keeps getting more and more comments, and people are saying honestly, shockingly for YouTube, nice things. So it was
That's
good.
nice. Well, this is fun.
Yeah.
Fun to do. And to cover the Olympics is in our own little sort of funny
Yeah,
way.
we covered it. This is our job.
It was enjoyable. I'll just close with this. I mean, I have loved the Olympics. I loved when it got away from politics and all that. And it was just these athletes, well-trained, dealing with the pressure, crying, hugging, just feel good Olympics. I'm going to say
it's a good family thing to do at night.
feeling.
Everyone talks about them, and I think they're good.
Yeah.
It's 2 weeks too, which is crazy because last night I was like, there's a race. And then 2 minutes later, okay, they're lining up again. I'm like, oh, another one. Oh, there's another one. Drama.
And they're
race.
handball and badminton and volleyball. And you're riveted by sports you would never watch except for the Olympics.
Yeah, you're like, hang on, it's a steeplechase. I don't even know what it is. Actually, a steeplechase, they run and then they jump for no reason. Then they jump into water for no reason. I'm like, what are you running to work?
I was trying to mimic, I guess, ancient man or something.
I thought it was
you
a
have like
horse
3
race.
barriers and then you go over the water. But yeah, that's a brutal sport. I am familiar with that. But I saw one-on-one badminton and they were going so fast. It was just funny.
Yeah, ping pong, badminton, it's unreal.
Yeah.
But I think overall, good job, Olympics. You did a great job. And
good
see you
job.
next
I mean,
week.
it's not an easy thing to pull off. And guess what? And see you in LA in 4 years.
This has been a presentation of Odyssey. Superfly is executive produced by Dana Carvey and David Spade, Jenna Weiss-Berman of Odyssey, Heather Santoro, and Greg Holtzman. Hope you liked it.